Chapter 1005. Read 336. I think they would be happy if they knew, said Emo-san. Why? Sima Yue was confused. Because without you, their daughter would have died. Third Emo said. You gave them hope. Sima Yue was stunned. She had never thought of this before. You haven't thought about that, have you? Third Emo chuckled. Think about it. If it weren't for you, their daughter would have already become a pile of bones. How could she still be alive and kicking in front of them, and make them worry about her all the time? Sima Yue fell silent. Do you treat them as your parents? Third Emo asked. Sima Yue nodded. I promised to live on for her and find her parents. I am her, and she is me. Her parents are naturally my parents. If that's what you think, then why bother with who you are? You are both you and her. Third Emo said. You are their daughter. If they don't acknowledge you in the end, then you won't have any regrets. Besides, that's a matter for you to decide after you meet them. It's useless to think so much now, isn't it? Yes. Sima Yue nodded. Now that you've mentioned it, I think I've figured it out. You're digging yourself into a dead end. Third Emo said. I've never seen you like this before. I've never encountered something like this before, Sima Yue said with a smile. After chatting with Third Emo, she felt much better. Just as he said, she treated them as her own parents. It would be best if they recognized her, but if they didn't, she wouldn't let down the original owner. Oh right, why don't I see the little golden snake? Third Emo asked. It seemed to have absorbed something in the desert. It's not asleep yet, Sima Yue said. Can I go take a look? Of course. Let's go. The little golden snake was originally his oar, and he had opened it. In the end it was still his. It only followed her because it liked her. She brought Third Emo to the place where the little golden snake was in seclusion. It was curled up with its head hidden in its body. The ancient aura in its body is getting stronger and stronger. What did it eat? Third Emo asked. After Sima Yue told him what had happened, Third Mo's expression turned serious. The aura on Xiaojin's body is getting thicker and thicker. The chances of others discovering it will increase, and you will be in more danger. Sima Yue smiled. She had a lot of treasures with her now, and she would be hunted down to the ends of the earth if she revealed any of them. You're still laughing, Third Emo said. Try not to let her go out in the future. I also want to, but based on its previous behavior, I'm afraid it's unlikely. Sima Yue shrugged. This little fellow was very curious about the outside world, and wanted to go out often. It was impossible for her to keep it here. Then you can't just let it be, Third Emo said. I think it's still in its infancy, but it's already so powerful. Once it grows up, I'm afraid those people won't be able to do anything to it. Sima Yue wasn't too worried. I hope so. By the way, how's the gathering of the things you wanted coming along? Other than the Bodhi mushroom, what else are you missing? Tell me if I have it here? Sima Yue said. I've already told Little Spirit. I found 2 types of herbs, but I'm still missing a few. Once I leave this place, I'll continue to search. Third Emo said. Make a list of the things you need. I'll help you find them, Sima Yue said. Okay. Third Emo didn't stand on ceremony with her. He told her the things he needed and the clues to these things. When Sima Yue came out of the spirit pagoda, the anger and depression in her heart had already dissipated. She regained her usual calmness. Han Miaoshuang and Su Xiaoxiao knocked on the door. They followed Sima Yue out of the spirit pagoda, but didn't go out with her. Little junior brother, what happened to you? They said you ran back angrily. Han Miaoshuang saw Sima Yue open the door and asked. Sima Yue thought for a while, then turned sideways to let them in. What happened? Su Xiaoxiao saw her and asked. Sima Yue made a cup of tea for each of them and said, It's a long story. Have some tea, I'll tell you slowly. Su Xiaoxiao and Han Miaoshuang were stunned when they heard Sima Yue say those things. They held the teacups in their hands and looked at her in a daze. Death, rebirth. There were such mysterious things in this world. So now that you met your uncles, they made you very angry? Han Miaoshuang concluded. I don't know why I'm angry. Maybe it's because I haven't seen them for so many years. They suddenly appeared and told me this and that. Plus, I had a pit in my heart so I couldn't control my emotions. Sima Yue said. But it's fine now. Oh my god, you're actually from the Sima family. Han Miaoshuang looked at Sima Yue and said in surprise. Why would they put you in a place like the Yilin continent? Who's your father? Su Xiaoxiao asked. They said he's called Sima Luxian. Peng. The teacup in Han Miaoshuang's hand fell to the ground, making a crisp sound. Su Xiaoxiao's eyes widened. What's wrong? Sima Yue was shocked when she saw their huge reaction. Your father is actually Sima Luxian. Han Miaoshuang finally found her voice. They said so. I haven't confirmed it yet. Sima Yue said. What's with your expressions? Sima Luxian. Oh my god, your father is actually Sima Luxian. I need to digest this news. Han Miaoshuang patted her chest exaggeratedly. You know my father? How can we not know? How many people in the inner regions don't know? Han Miaoshuang said. He's a famous person. I didn't expect him to be your father. Then you know him very well. Sima Yue asked. What we know is only superficial knowledge, but this superficial knowledge is already enough to make people prostrate themselves in admiration. Han Miaoshuang said. It's a pity that I haven't seen him with my own eyes. Now that he's actually your father, I'll definitely have a chance to see him in person. Be more specific. Sima Yue said. Xi and Feng clan's Feng Zhixing are known as the two heroes of the inner regions. No matter if it's strength, appearance or temperament, they're a few streets ahead of others. Your father is the first person I know to advance to monarch rank. He was only 100 years old then, right? Is that true? Han Miaoshuang looked at Su Xiaoxiao. 1 or 2 years. Su Xiaoxiao said. Your master, Feng Zhixing, advanced to monarch rank at 100 years old. Advanced to monarch rank at 100 years old. Sima Yue was shocked by this talent. How heaven-defying was that? Unfortunately, I heard that something happened later. Your father and master disappeared from the inner regions and never appeared again. I heard that they came to the outer regions. Some people said that they died, but now it seems that your master is still alive and well. Han Miaoshuang said regretfully. Chapter 1006. If you want to talk about your father, you won't be able to finish it even if you talk for 3 days and 3 nights. Han Miaoshuang continued. I'll tell you slowly when I'm free. What's puzzling now is, where is he now? Sima Yue shook her head. They didn't say, and it seems like they don't intend to tell me either. I feel that you shouldn't have too much contact with them now. Su Xiaoxiao continued. Your father entrusted you to your grandfather, which means that the Sima family is in danger. If they know that you're back, it might bring danger. I think so too. Sima Yue continued. I'll do my best for the alchemy competition now. We'll talk about other things later. It's rare for you to think this way. Han Miaoshuang continued. If it was me, I'd probably be so excited now. Sima Yue smiled, but didn't tell her that she also went to the spirit pagoda to chat with them for a long time before she calmed down. All right, since you're fine, then prepare for the alchemy competition. Han Miaoshuang said. Sima Yue sent the two of them off, and suddenly missed Wu Lingyu. If he was around, she would be able to calm down faster. Father, mother, what happened that year? For the next 1.5 days, Sima Yue didn't go out again. The last time she went out, she met the Sima family. If she went out again, she didn't know what she would meet again. On the morning of the alchemy competition, Sima Yue and the people from the sect went to the huge square early. It was said that it was specially prepared for various competitions. When they entered, Sima Yifei and the others walked over, seeing Sima Yue. He even waved at her enthusiastically. Yue, are you participating in the competition too? Or are you going to watch from the viewing platform like me? Hope you enjoy watching. Sima Yue nodded at him faintly, turned around and walked to the contestants' area. This brat is still angry. Sima Yifei touched his chin and said. You're actually thinking about this now. Sima Xian Shu walked over and said, Did you see her go to the contestants' area? I saw it. Sima Yifei looked at him as if he was an idiot, then his eyes suddenly widened and said, He knows how to refine pills. Not only does he know how to refine pills, his grade is definitely not low, Sima Xianshu said. What do you know? Armament refining. Sima Yifei continued. Don't tell me he knows how to refine armaments. We don't know if she knows how to refine weapons, but I know that she knows a lot of things. Sima Yiyan walked over and said. It's obvious that she's a seeker spirit master. And did you notice that Feng Zhixing is her master? What does this mean? That means she's also a formation master. Sima Qi said in surprise. He's a seeker spirit master, an array master, and an alchemist. Is this guy really human? I believe she's a pervert. Sima Yifei said. Alright, you guys quickly go and compete. Attract this competition and win the things back. You can't lose to the Gu family. We know. Sima Qi said. You can just watch from the stands with them. We'll definitely win against the Gu family. Sima Yue and Han Miaoshuang followed Mao San Quan to the contestants' resting area and chose a seat to sit down. Instructor Mao, do you think we'll be able to find the traitor today? Han Miaoshuang sat beside Sima Yue and asked. Then we'll have to see if they'll seize power today. Mao San Quan looked at the empty rostrum and said faintly. I think the possibility is very high. Wei Zheng continued. This alchemy competition has always been hosted by the guild president and the pill subdivision head. If President Xia and the others don't appear, they'll definitely use this as an excuse to seize power. The possibility is very high, but I don't know if we can use this to find all the traitors. Su Xiao said. I don't know. It'll depend on their abilities. Sima Yue continued. To be exact, it'll depend on their subordinates' abilities. Those two guys were still carefree in her little realm. They weren't worried about what was happening here at all. Little junior brother, let me introduce you to those who are participating in the competition. Over there is Kong Junchul. Sima Yue and Su Xiao looked in the direction that Han Miaoshuang was looking at. As expected, they saw Kong Junchul and the Jiang family members walking to the opposite resting area and sitting down. That's Kong Junchul? Why do I feel like that's eldest senior brother? Su Xiao asked. It's not what you think. That's eldest senior brother. Sima Yue said confidently. Jiang Junxian felt 3 pairs of eyes on him. He glanced over, and then turned to look elsewhere. He's not looking at us. Han Miaoshuang said angrily. I'll go up. Senior sister, don't be rash. Sima Yue quickly pulled Han Miaoshuang and said. If you go over now, there's nothing you can do even if he doesn't admit it. That's right. Why are you being rash? Since he's here, it's easy for you to find him. Su Xiao said. I'm going to ask him why he did that to us. Han Miaoshuang said unwillingly. There'll be a chance. Sima Yue pulled her to sit down. Now's not the time to talk about this. If he's here, then where did Kong Junchul go? Su Xiao asked. I think he caught Kong Junchul and wanted to use his identity to participate in the competition. In the end, he wanted to do something. Sima Yue said. It's possible. Han Miaoshuang calmed down and looked at Jiang Junxian. Could it be that he wants to ruin the Jiang family's reputation? He wouldn't be so stupid as to use such a method, right? As she spoke, she looked at Sima Yue and said in shock. Could it really be like that? I think it's very likely. Su Xiao said. If he really thinks that way, then he's really wrong. Sima Yue said, replacing Kong Junchul and losing in the competition, or crushing him in the competition fair and square. Which one would feel better? Of course it's the second one. Han Miaoshuang said. That's why I said he's stupid. If it was me, I definitely wouldn't do that. If it was me, I would definitely choose to slap him in the face. Half an hour later, Song Changjie and the others walked in under the protection of the guards. There were a few other vice presidents and vice leaders beside them. They came to the rostrum and sat down. Sima Yue noticed that Song Changjie sat directly on the main seat. A teacher came to the rostrum and said, Everyone, today is the alchemy competition that happens once every 20 years. Before the competition starts, we have some things to announce. I'm guessing they're going to announce that they're going to seize power. Sima Yue said. You don't have to think to know. Su Xiaoxiao said. Looks like they're really going to make a move. Sima Yu's lips curled into a smile as she said faintly, the exciting show is about to start. Chapter 1007. Everyone, before the pill competition begins, there are some things that need to be taken care of. The host said. If it's an alchemy competition, then so be it. What else is there? Someone called out. Of course it's something very important. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it at this time. The host said. Just tell me what it is. The host looked in Song Changjie's direction and said, everyone knows that this pill competition has always been hosted by the guild president and the Pill Alliance master. But something happened this year. As soon as he finished speaking, he paused for a moment to observe the expressions of everyone here before he continued. All of you are aware that Ocean of Cloud City hasn't been peaceful recently. For some unknown reason, large amounts of plants outside the city have turned black, and even the spirit beasts have become violent. Our president and Lord Alliance head, they went out to investigate something outside the city and haven't returned. Right now, we don't even know if they're still alive. Whoosh! The audience was in an uproar, and everyone started to discuss. How could this happen? What happened to the guild leader and the others? Oh my God, something big is going to happen today. Everyone was shocked. Some of the smarter ones had already sensed that something was wrong. I've long heard that they weren't in the city. I didn't expect them to not return after going out to investigate, someone said. Then what should we do? Everyone, don't panic. The host waved his hands, signaling for everyone to be quiet. President and Alliance head are both gone. Then how are we going to carry out today's pill competition? Someone asked loudly. This alchemy competition is a competition passed down from our ancestors. Naturally, we cannot cancel the competition. The host said. How is the competition going to proceed without the president and the Alliance master around? Yes. Could it be that the guild leader has returned? I don't think so. If he came back, he must have come out already. Then how will the competition proceed? Let's wait and see. I have a feeling that today's matter won't be simple. Everyone be quiet. The host said, although the president and the Alliance leader are not here, we still have to continue our work. Even if we don't have the president and Alliance master, we still have the vice president and vice Alliance master. Over the years, there has never been a vice president or vice chief presiding over the competition. Someone questioned. That's right. But we have something else to tell you, the host said. What is it? We'll have to ask our vice president and vice Alliance master to tell everyone. The host said. Everyone's gaze shifted to the rostrum. Song Changjie stood up and said to everyone. The president told me something before he left. As for what it is, you'll know once you hear it. He took out a sound stone and raised it above his head, saying, This is the sound stone that was brought back by the people who were looking for the president. It contains the words that the president and the Alliance master said to everyone. After he finished speaking, he inserted spirit energy into it, and Xia Changtian's voice resounded through the entire plaza. Changjie, I've found some clues here. I can't give up now. I'll leave the preparations for the alchemy competition to you all. I know that the alchemy competition is a competition passed down from our ancestors. It must be presided over by the president. If I don't return before the competition, then I'll pass the position of president to you. Boom. Everyone gasped and looked at each other, unable to believe what they had just heard. The person in Xia Changtian's body didn't agree either. He anxiously cried out, President, how can you? You don't have to persuade me. You all know that I've never wanted to be the president. I've had this thought since a long time ago. I wanted to pass the position of president to him. It's just bringing it forward. President, you can't do this. You don't have to say any more. I've already made up my mind. Changjie, remember, you must ensure that the alchemy competition continues smoothly. The voice stopped here. Following that, another voice rang out. It was Zhao Xiangqi's voice. His meaning was similar to the previous one. He also said that he wanted to pass the position to the Vice Alliance Master of the Pill Subdivision, Zhao Xiangrui. This Zhao Xiangrui is Zhao Xiangqi's biological younger brother. He actually covets his older brother's position. Sima Yue shook her head and said, "There's a huge difference between the two," Han Miaoshuang said. "I don't know why things like power are so attractive. The feeling of being able to call the wind and summon the rain is naturally different from the feeling of always being inferior to others." Su Xiaoxiao said, "This is the most attractive part." "That's right." Mao Sanquan nodded in agreement. "But there will always be those who don't care about fame and fortune," Sima Yue said. "At least I don't see any of you having such thoughts. All of you are thinking about how to pass the guts to others. That's why people say that different people have different pursuits," Han Miaoshuang said. "Some people think that it's good, some don't. Like me, I think that eating is the best." "Foodie." Su Xiaoxiao looked at her with disdain. "Hee, I'm proud of being a foodie." Han Miaoshuang raised her head proudly. Sima Yue laughed and shook her head. "You, as long as you eat, everything will be fine." "Alright, stop talking. Let's continue to watch the show." After Zhao Xiangqi finished speaking, the entire arena was in an uproar. They didn't think that something like this would happen. The president was a gifted person. This was such a huge matter. "Quiet. Quiet," the MC shouted. But everyone still didn't stop discussing. Everyone was expressing their own thoughts and feelings. After 10 minutes, the entire arena finally calmed down. "Everyone quiet," the MC shouted again. This time everyone finally quietened down. "The president and chief's intentions are very clear. Now what I have to do is to follow their wishes and let Vice President Song and Vice President Zhao take over the position of president and chief," the MC said. "Because this is a special period for the alchemy competition, the succession ceremony will be held after the competition. Greetings to the president and chief." "Greetings to the president and chief." Many people stood up and bowed towards Song Changjie and Zhao Xiangrui. The other group of people didn't move. They sat in the same place with no intention of getting up. "What do you want to do?" the MC looked at those people and asked unhappily. "Without seeing the president, we don't believe that he will give up the position of president," someone said. "That's right. Song Changjie wants to use a soundstone to seize power. That's impossible." With the president's words, "You still won't admit it?" "Of course not. Don't tell me you want to rebel?" The MC dragged his voice, his eyes revealing a cold intent. "Rebel? You're the ones rebelling. Do you think that just because you took out a fake soundstone, we'll admit it? Don't tell me you can't recognize the president's voice." "We know that it's the president's voice, but this voice can be imitated. We definitely won't admit it." "That's right." "Is that so?" Song Changjie looked at those people and waved his hand. A group of guards quickly ran in from outside. Chapter 1008. Those guards ran in and stood in a row around the plaza, facing the people on the viewing platform. Please search the book to see the most complete update of the fastest. Song Changjie. What do you mean by this? How dare you call the president's name? The host said. You're doubting the previous president's intentions and disrespecting the current president. If you continue to do this, we can only arrest you. Sima Yu looked at the guards, each of them looking fierce and murderous. This group of people are not ordinary guards. Mao Sanquan said. Don't act blindly without thinking. Sima Yu cursed in her heart and started to think of what to do now. Xia Changtian and the others were still in her little realm. According to the plan, she would let them out here. But now it seemed that she didn't dare to act blindly without thinking, let alone find a secret place. Could it be that she had to expose the fact that she had a little realm in front of so many people? She looked around and rejected the idea. There were many eyes here. There might be people who had designs on her. Snatching treasures was a common thing in this world. But what should she do in this situation? Wait and see, let nature take its course. Han Miaoshuang saw that the situation was not right and instructed softly. Sima Yu nodded and little Seven grabbed her hand. Song Changjie. What do you mean by this? Isn't today the alchemy competition? You've already arranged guards outside. In view of what happened outside the city and the theft of the Bodhi mushroom, we decided to be careful. If someone comes to cause trouble, it's better to have more guards. The host said. You're obstructing us here. Are you in cahoots with those people? In cahoots with your sister? A man jumped up and scolded. Song Changjie, if you want to be the president, unless you see the president with your own eyes and hear him say it himself, we won't acknowledge you. You want to see the president? Song Changjie narrowed his eyes and looked at him. The guard standing in front of that person took out a spirit weapon and attacked him. A strong pressure froze that person, making him unable to move. He could only watch as the spirit weapon was about to pierce his heart. Ding! A dart flew over and deflected the spirit weapon. At the same time, a force wrapped around the guard and threw him back. Who is it? The host looked in the direction where the darts came from, but he didn't see anyone there. Song Changjie, if you want to be the president, have you asked for our opinion? A loud voice came from the door. Sima Yue was excited when she heard the voice. The God Valley Lord Letting Bai Chuan and a group of Divine Devil Valley disciples in through the main door. After they entered, they looked around and paused when they saw Sima Yue. Martial uncle. Sima Yue moved her lips and greeted him. The Valley Lord nodded and looked at Song Changjie and Zhao Xiangrui. You want to seize power? Have you asked for our permission? Liang Wuming, I thought you wouldn't come, the host said in a strange tone. Song Jiang, you want to stop my Divine Devil Valley with those people you sent? You must be dreaming. The God Valley Lord, Liang Wuming snorted coldly. I really underestimated your Divine Devil Valley's strength. I didn't expect you to have so many thunderbolt bombs. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to come here. The truth is that we came here, Liang Wuming said. Since we're here, you should wake up from your dream of power. Do you think it's useful for your Divine Devil Valley to come here? Song Changjie said. You don't know. Today, you can only enter this plaza, but you can't leave. Are you talking about the people you arranged outside? Liang Wuming said. Do you think they let us in? What do you mean? Zhao Xiangrui had a good relationship with the Divine Devil Valley and knew their strength. Hearing him say this, he had a bad feeling. You've already guessed it, haven't you? Liang Wuming said. Your people have already been taken care of by us. How is that possible? The people we arranged outside are all experts. With your Divine Devil Valley's strength, how could you defeat them silently? If there was a battle, how could they not hear anything? Don't you know that my Divine Devil Valley has poison masters? You actually used poison. Zhao Xiangrui shouted. Do you have no morals? Are you stupid? Liang Wuming looked at him mockingly. Firstly, my Divine Devil Valley has never said that we are a righteous sect. Our motto has always been to follow our heart. Whether we use poison or not, as long as we are happy, we are willing. What can you do? You. Secondly, Liang Wuming interrupted him and said, since when do you want to usurp power? Do we still need to talk about the morals of the underworld with you? I think your IQ is worrying. Pfft. Everyone laughed out loud. Some of the inner powers who had been watching coldly from the sidelines also laughed. Do you think that you can deal with us with just this group of people? If you ignore the previous president and the Alliance Master's words, we can definitely capture you. The previous president, you said that sounds stone. Do you dare to say that it was really your president who said it? Liang Wuming asked. Can't you tell from the president's voice? Of course I can tell from the president's voice. But what you said is not the real president. What do you mean? Someone asked. Could it be that what they heard was not what the president said? The literal meaning. Liang Wuming said. That soundstone was not said by the president at all. It was forged by them. Forged things can be forged. But can a voice be forged? Of course, Liang Wuming said. There is no one in this world who has the same voice. The host said coldly, with such concrete evidence, you still want to deny it. Divine Valley Lord, why did you say that it was forged? Some of the neutral powers asked. Do you have evidence? If that voice was the president's, then they would naturally follow his wishes and treat Song Changjie as the president. If it wasn't, then they would definitely not admit it. The evidence will be here soon, Liang Wuming said. Wait for 2 minutes. You will naturally know. Zopeng. A figure fell from the sky and landed harshly in front of everyone. Everyone seemed to have heard the sound of bones breaking. The evidence that you want is here. Red stood in the sky. She was the one who had thrown that person out. Red. When Zhao Xiangrui saw Red, he subconsciously took a step back. Lord Red. Lord Red has always been with the president. If she is here, then wouldn't the president be here too? Peng. Just as everyone was discussing, another person was thrown to the ground. This book came from Pin and Book #net. Chapter 1009. When they saw the two people on the ground, everyone was puzzled. Song Changjie, Zhao Xiangrui, and the others' expressions changed instantly. Gao Jihong flew in from the other side of the square with a few guards beside him. At the same time, a few other guards flew in from outside and arrived behind Red Robe saying, Sect Master, those people outside have been dealt with. Hong Yi nodded, then flew down and stood beside the person on the ground. She casually kicked him, looked at Zhao Xiangrui and sneered. Zhao Xiangrui, you've grown bold. Now they even dare to do such a thing. Zhao Xiangrui appeared to be very afraid of the Red Spectre. When he saw her questioning him with a cold face, his body shivered involuntarily. You guys really managed to escape, Song Jiang said. Not only did we escape, we even brought your people back to you. Red Coat said. Who are these two people? Someone couldn't hold back and asked. Who else could it be? Aren't they the Guild Master and Alliance Master that you've heard about? Gao Jihong flew to Redcoat's side and kicked the man, causing him to face up. Song Changjie, do you still recognize your people? Song Changjie remained silent with a cold face. Come, let's learn from what you said before. Gao Jihong said. The person on the ground did not speak. What, do you want to have a taste of my 18 tortures? The Red Spectre glanced at the man. That person's body trembled and his eyes flashed with struggle. He then opened his mouth and said, Changjie, I found some clues. About the alchemy competition. That person imitated Xia Changtian's voice and repeated what he said before. Sima Yue whispered. Is this Red Coat very powerful? Those people seem to be afraid of her? Hong Yi has quite a reputation in the central region. She is the leader of the Red Flower sect. Because she likes the alliance leader, she often follows him. Han Miaoshuang said. How did you know? Sima Yue turned to look at her. Haha, don't you know that we have a very gossipy master? Han Miaoshuang said. Every time he comes here he will tell us anything interesting. Although most of the time we don't want to hear it. Then why are those people so afraid of her? Sima Yue asked. Safflower sect is a cult in the eyes of others. The current sect leader, Hong Yi, is even more vicious and merciless. She created 18 tortures that made many people tremble in fear. Many people in the Pill subdivision are afraid of her. Han Miaoshuang said. I really want to see it. Little Seven blinked her big eyes and said with a smile. Once you see it, you won't want to see it again, Su Xiao said. Have you seen it before? Seven asked. No, but I've heard about it from Master. Su Xiaoxiao recalled Su Jin's description and felt a little nauseous. The 18 tortures of the Red Spectre? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. She wanted to see for herself. After that person finished speaking, everyone in the venue was stunned. Song Changjie, Zhao Xiangrui, you actually dare to do this? Do you really think we're fools? Someone cursed. Isn't that so? Little Seven muttered. If Hong Yi and the others hadn't exposed the Soundstone, these people would have believed it. If they weren't idiots, then what were they? If the president and alliance head are fake, then where are they? Zhan Xing stood up and asked. Ever since the president and alliance head went out to investigate the situation outside the city, they haven't returned. Now that so much time has passed, we don't even know if they're dead or alive. To put it bluntly, if they're really dead, then the position of president and alliance head would belong to the vice president and vice alliance head. Why would they do such a thing? That's because you can't kill us, Gao Jihong said. For such a long time, You've been sending people to kill us, wanting the president and alliance head to die outside forever. Since you can't kill us, you can only do such things to usurp power. Gao Jihong, don't slander us. You're clearly the one who betrayed the Union, betrayed the president and the others, and now you're actually trying to frame us. Zhang Xing said, the president went out with you, and as the leader of his guards, you came back alive. What does this mean? I think you should properly explain how you killed the president and the others, right? Senseless framing, Gao Jihong said. At this moment, two people ran in from outside, came to Song Changjie's side, and whispered something in his ear. You're here? Song Changjie's face immediately became happy, and said, go call the people from the cloud protection team over. Yes, President. That person accepted the order and left. Gao Jihong, seeing that we've known each other for a few hundred years, I advise you to obediently surrender. Song Changjie said. Just based on the few of you, there's no way you can fight against us. Seeing that we've known each other for so long, I'll give you a piece of advice. Don't be stubborn and let yourself be captured. Gao Jihong imitated his tone and said, your people have already been killed by us. Just based on the people you have here, you're not our match. Gao Jihong, don't be so shameless. Zhang Xing pointed at Gao Jihong's nose and scolded. You guys talk a lot of nonsense. Red picked his ears and said impatiently, you guys are blabbering like this, I can directly put people down. Gao Jihong saw Red flipping out and said, it's not like I wanted to. Red rolled her eyes at him, then said to Zhao Xiangrui and Song Changjie, you too, are you going to surrender or not? If you don't surrender, I'm going to make a move. After speaking, she didn't wait for them to reply and immediately made a move. Those guards immediately started fighting, all kinds of spirit skills flew in all directions, and the entire square became chaotic. Sima Yue was delighted. In such a chaotic situation, no one would notice her movements. Then no one would find out when she secretly took out the door to the little realm. Cover me for a while, she said to Han Miaoshuang and the others. Han Miaoshuang, Su Xiaoxiao and Little Seven blocked her surroundings. She looked around and found that no one was paying attention to her, so she took out the little door and called out Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi who were still chatting inside. Stop! Xia Changtian's deep voice resounded throughout the square, causing everyone who was fighting to quieten down. President! President? Seeing the two of them appear out of nowhere, everyone was shocked. Oh, you still know that I'm your president? Didn't you guys recognize a new president? Xia Changtian glanced at those people. The kind of imposing aura emitted without being angry, causing many people to lower their heads. He was currently filled with a stomach full of unhappiness, and now he didn't like who he looked at. According to his original plan, he would come out before entering the square. That way he would be able to make a grand entrance. But he didn't expect that the two of them would be arguing endlessly because of alchemy and forget about this. So he could only come out like this. Chapter 10:10. Read 336. The moment Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi appeared, the entire situation changed. Those neutral powers immediately sided with them. Only Song Changjie and Zhao Xiangrui's trusted aides were still stubbornly resisting. How did you guys get in? Zhao Xiangrui looked at them in surprise. There was a barrier here. It was impossible for Xia Changtian to force his way in. Even if they managed to enter, with so many people in the city, it was impossible for there to be no news of them. It wasn't just Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi. Gao Jihong and the other guards also seemed to have suddenly appeared in the city. These days, they had been opposing them everywhere. Even though they had sent out many people, they still couldn't catch them. However, no matter how Gao Jihong and Hong Yi jumped around, they didn't put it to heart. But with Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi coming out, the meaning was completely different. You don't have to worry about how we came in, Xia Changtian said. Now I'll only ask you one thing. Surrender or not? Surrender? Ha ha ha. Song Changjie laughed out loud as if he had heard the funniest thing in the world. All these years, you've thrown everything aside and studied alchemy, leaving all the matters of the union to me. I've worked so hard for so many years, but I'm still suppressed by you. I've had enough of these days. So you betrayed me and poisoned me outside the city with the people from the inner regions to lure me out. Xia Changtian felt a bit of pain in his heart. He had always nurtured Song Changjie to be the next president, but he didn't expect him to have such an attitude. When the surrounding people heard this, they all gasped. The incident outside the city was actually caused by Song Changjie and Zhao Xiangrui? So those people who died because of the investigation were all killed by them? Lord Envoy did not return. I knew that you already knew. Song Changjie did not deny it and said, but even if you know the reason, what's the use? The ending was the same. You are destined to serve His Majesty. My lord? Zhao Xiangqi frowned. It seems that you have completely surrendered to that power, and have even thrown away your dignity. Dignity? After following you for so many years, my dignity has long been worn away by your orders. But it's different if you follow Her Highness. She can make you suffer a crushing defeat with just a little trick. Although I don't know why you survived, the result will be the same. Results? We're back. Your plans have failed. Zhao Xiangqi said. The members of the Cloud Protection Team listened to me and Changtian. Can you still order them around? Ha ha ha. Do you think the current Cloud Protection Team is still the same as before? Song Changjie laughed heartily. You can give them an order, and see if they will listen to you. Xia Changtian looked at the guards who were pointing their weapons at them. What did you do to them? Xia Changtian asked. I didn't actually do anything. Song Changjie said. Although those people directly take orders from the president, after so many years, they have long leaned towards me. Haven't you noticed that the Cloud Protection Team has lost a lot of familiar faces, and has gained a lot of new ones? That's right, you were busy refining pills, so you naturally didn't notice. The Cloud Protection Squad was a squad that belonged to the Guild Master and the Alliance Master. However, it had now become Song Changjie's men. You guys actually betrayed us. Gao Jihong angrily looked at his former brothers, his gaze gradually turning cold. Captain, don't blame us. We're just good birds that choose a tree to nest in. Someone said. Your self-awareness is not bad. You know that you're a beast. Hong Yi said. Hong Yi, your safflower sex people have all been taken care of by us. I wonder if you found their bones? I will definitely make you pay with your blood. Hong Yi said. With just you guys? Come kill them all. Zhan Xing had never liked Hong Yi. Whenever he saw her, he would subconsciously think of her torture. Now that he finally had the chance to take care of her, he naturally wouldn't let it go. Protect the president and Alliance Master. The moment the guards moved, people flew down from the stands. They could ignore others, but they had to protect the president and Alliance Master. The moment they moved, those who followed them and those who were against them also moved. Sima Yue then realized that the rest was divided into 4 groups. One group was from the inner regions. They wouldn't care about this matter. One group was Song Changjie's men, one was neutral, and one was following Xia Changtian. Once they moved, other than the people from the inner regions, everyone else moved. The entire scene became even more chaotic. You guys stay here. You're not allowed to go out. Mao Sanquan activated the defensive array and instructed the students. He then brought Wei Zhang and the rest out. Little 7, protect everyone. Sima Yue saw that the Divine Devil Valley's people were outside. Many of them were attacked. She followed Mao Sanquan and flew out. They fought as they went to the Divine Devil Valley. Senior uncle, senior brother. Sima Yue came to their side, and happened to save a disciple who was surrounded. Why did you come out? Ing Baichuan saw Sima Yue coming over and said, quickly return to the defensive array. Their attacks are too fierce. Let's go back together. Sima Yue shouted at him. Baichuan, bring them to the defensive array. Liang Wuming shouted. Yes, master. Ing Baichuan replied, follow us. He and Sima Yue brought them to where the academy was. Little 7 opened the array to let them in. Thank you, Junior Valley Master. Sima Yue was a little surprised and asked, how did you know it was me? Other than you, no one can call the Valley Lord senior uncle. That person laughed. That's true. Sima Yue turned to look at the situation outside and said, The situation doesn't look good. The cloud protection squad betrayed us. This is unexpected. I don't know if they have any trump cards. Otherwise, I'm afraid this battle. Zhu Xiaoxiao said worriedly. I think so too. I think Captain Gao and the rest have more skills than this. Han Miaoshuang believed in them. They won't even listen to the president. I'm afraid it's impossible to make them stop. Little Seven said. I think so too. Ying Baichuan said. But you don't have to worry too much. Those people will come after settling the people outside. Those people? The previous cloud protection squad, Safflower Sect's disciples and other backup. Ying Baichuan said. Where are they now? They're cleaning up Song Changjie's backup. If they don't come soon, I'm afraid the situation will be out of control. Ying Baichuan saw the one-sided situation and was a little worried. But those backup obviously didn't show any signs of coming early. Time passed bit by bit. Every minute and every second seemed so unbearable. Chirp chirp. Just when everyone thought the situation was settled, a phoenix cry came from the sky, making Sima Yue happy. Chapter 10-11. Chirp chirp. Everyone looked up and saw phoenixes flying over. For the latest chapter, please go to Literature Building. Phoenix Clan? It's the Swanee clan, which is ranked relatively high among the phoenixes. How did they get here? Someone must have let them in. That barrier is indestructible. It's really bye-bye. Chirp chirp. The phoenix flew to the sky above the square and circled the air a few times. The battle below stopped. Brother. Rainbow flew down from the sky and landed beside Sima Yue. Then Lu Fei flew down with his men and landed around them. When Sima Yue saw Rainbow and the rest, she was very surprised and asked, Why are you guys here? We happened to be nearby and received news that something was going on here. Originally, we didn't want to come, but we got the news that you were here, so we rushed over. Rainbow said. Then how did you get in? How did you get in? He flew in. Rainbow said. I saw you flying in. Is there a need to ask? You don't have an invitation, and it's impossible for you to break the barrier. How did you get in? Sima Yue asked. Barrier? When we came in, there was no enchantment. Rainbow said. When we came in, there was no one guarding the city gate, nor was there any enchantment blocking us. The guards guarding the city are all Song Changjie's men. They should have already been dealt with. Ying Baichuan said. Young master, do you want us to take action? Lu Fei asked. Let's wait and see, Sima Yue said. Taowu clan, it's best if you don't get involved in human affairs, Song Changjie said to Lu Fei in a threatening tone. I'm not interested in the affairs of you humans, but since you've offended the young master, we have no choice but to intervene, Lu Fei said. Young master? Song Changjie narrowed his eyes at Sima Yue. This human? I see that you've always been thinking about how to usurp power. You don't even know that the king of the rocks has appeared. Xiachang Tian said. The golden-winged great Peng has recognized a human as his master. All the other birds have to listen to his orders. This is the human? Song Changjie looked at Sima Yue. Other than her good looks, there was nothing special about her. He did not expect her to be the contractor of the king of birds. Rainbow, how many people do you have? Sima Yue asked when she saw that the reinforcements had not arrived yet. There's a total of over 100 of them, and the weakest is a high-level sacred beast. Most of them came in, but a small half of them were stopped by the guards outside. Rainbow said, but those people are no match for us. They should be able to rush over in a moment. That's good. If we have to fight later, you can directly kill those people, Sima Yue said. There was no need to give those treacherous people a chance to start over. All right. Lu Fei nodded. With the addition of Tao Wu, the situation changed again. From Song Changjie's side at the beginning, to Red and the others joining the battle, to the betrayal of the cloud protection team, and finally, Tao Wu's appearance, and the situation changed again. This show is getting better and better. Gu Shichao sat in his seat, watching the show with great interest. He was not interested in the matters of the outside forces. He came here to participate in the competition, but it would be good if he could watch a good show before the competition. Next to the Gu family was the Sima family. Sima Yun and the others were shocked. She's actually the contractor of the King of Rocks. Sima Chi cried out softly, her face full of disbelief. Sima Xian Shu and the others had similar expressions, as if they were looking at a monster. No matter what the reason was that forced her to leave, she definitely has the right to return to the family now. Sima Yun said excitedly. With her talent, even if she returns to the family, she will be heavily nurtured. Sima Chi said. At least heavily nurtured. If she goes back, I think the family head will not even look at us. Sima Xian Shu smiled bitterly. He always felt that he was not bad, but compared to her, the difference was too big. Uncle Lucian really gave birth to a good daughter. A good son. Sima Yun sighed. If he knew that his child was so outstanding, I wonder how excited he would be. It's a pity that his whereabouts are unknown. Sima Chi sighed. Uncle Lu Feng and Uncle Lu Yun have been looking for him for so many years. They even used the shadow team, but they couldn't find him. I'm afraid the result won't be good, Sima Xian Shu said. If he can't even take a look at such an outstanding child, how regretful would he be? I wonder if a miracle will happen. It will. Although his life jade is full of cracks, it hasn't really broken. I think he should still be alive. Sima Yun said. Even if it's for such an outstanding child, he has to live well. I also believe that Uncle Lucien is still alive. He is such a legendary figure. How could he fall so easily? Sima Chi said. I feel the same. Sima Xian Shu said. I have a feeling that if she returns to the family, Uncle Lucien will return too, Sima Yun said. I can't wait to see how Uncle Lu Feng and the others look when they find out about this news, Sima Chi said. They'll definitely be surprised, Sima Yun said. The disciples in the family have been scolded badly by them. Now that Yue has appeared, I really can't wait to see how they look like. Let's see if they can get through this first, the leading elder of the Sima family said. 10th elder, do you think there will be more changes? Sima Chi asked. Look, Song Changjie and Zhao Xiangrui aren't worried. It's obvious that they still have a trump card, 10th elder Sima Wenwen said. Indeed. Sima Yun observed those people. Although Swan and I had joined in, they only frowned. They didn't show any despair or unwillingness. This meant that they didn't think that they would lose. Then will Yue win? Sima Chi was a little worried. 10th elder, should we help them? The forces in the inner regions can't casually interfere with the matters in the inner and outer regions. This is a convention. Although this convention exists in name only, no one has openly torn it apart. If we act rashly, I'm afraid it will give them an excuse to deal with us, Sima Wenwen said. Then we don't care? Then what about Yue? Under such circumstances, they won't dare to touch her. Unless they are prepared to become enemies with the entire bird clan. Sima Xian Shu said. It wasn't easy for them to have a golden-winged rock. If anything happens, I'm afraid the entire continent will be in turmoil. That's right, Sima Wenwen said. Let's wait and see. There are more exciting things to come. Provide handwritten versions of the latest chapters, free download in TXT ebook format. Chapter 10-12. Read 336. The two sides were locked in a stalemate, and the situation could erupt at any moment. Go! Gao Jihong roared and attacked Song Jiang, who was not far away. The two sides started fighting again. This time with the addition of Bai, and more than half of the cloud protection team was quickly wiped out. Song Changjie saw that the situation was not right, and took out something to crush. Very quickly, Sima Yu sensed some movement in space and opened up a spatial tunnel. A group of masked people walked out from it. Judging from the aura they were emitting, everyone had a common understanding that these people were from the inner region. The faces of the people in the inner circle who had been watching the show sank when they saw these people appear. Are the forces from the inner regions meddling in the affairs here? Lord Left Emissary, save us! Song Changjie shouted at that person. The so-called Lord of the Left Emissary glanced at Song Changjie and Zhao Xiangrui with a malicious gaze, causing a chill to run down their spines. If you can't even do something like this, how are you going to serve the Lord? With a wave of his hand, Song Changjie and Zhao Xiangrui were sent flying by a gust of wind and landed heavily on the ground. This subordinate has failed in his task. Please punish me, Lord Left Emissary. Zhao Xiangrui hurriedly admitted his mistake. A hint of ruthlessness flashed through Song Changjie's eyes, but it disappeared in an instant. He stood up, lowered his head and said, "This subordinate has failed in his task. Please punish me, Lord Left Emissary." Useless trash. The Left Emissary turned his gaze towards Xia Changtian and the others, and ordered the people behind him, "Kill them on the spot." Yes, Left Emissary. Those men in black were all monarch rank experts. Although there were many monarch rank experts on this side, the other side was much stronger. The situation had changed once again. Sima Yuyu's heart sank when she saw the situation. Why was it so troublesome to deal with these people? She looked at the entire venue. The people in the inner circle didn't make a move, because this was an outside matter. They didn't dare to casually participate. But now that the inner circle was involved, would they make a move? She looked at the Sima family, and felt that her previous idea was unlikely. How could they possibly get involved? But if this continued, it wouldn't be long before Xia Changtian and the others would be defeated. PFFF, Mao Sanquan was hit. He spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated. Director Mao. Sima Yue and Little Seven flew out. Sima Yue helped him up while Little Seven stood guard in front of them. The three of them retreated back into the defense array. Instructor Mao, eat this pill. Sima Yue took out a pill and fed it to him. After Mao Sanquan ate the pill, he felt much better. This can't go on, they can't hold on any longer. Han Miaoshuang said, "I didn't think that the people from the inner regions would come. Even if we wait for those reinforcements to arrive, we might not be able to win." Ying Baichuan said, "Then what should we do?" No one said anything. No one knew what else they could do. Just as Ying Baichuan had said, the reinforcements soon arrived, but they were still no match for the forces in the inner area. The Left Emissary stood in the air and looked at Xia Changtian, who was protected in the middle by the crowd. He condensed spiritual energy in his hands and attacked. The guards around him were sent flying by the spiritual energy, and Xia Changtian was engulfed in flames. Gao Zhihong saw that Xia Changtian was engulfed in flames and suddenly went crazy. He slashed his opponent in half and ran over to disperse the flames. Changtian. His bloodshot eyes were stunned when he saw that Xia Changtian was unharmed. Xia Changtian didn't react in time. It was as if he had just walked through the gates of hell. Everyone was stunned by this strange scene. However, they immediately reacted. He was saved by someone. Break. Sima Yue's voice woke everyone up. Xia Changtian felt the imprisonment around him disappear. At the last moment, Sima Yue used a spatial lock to seal the space around Xia Changtian. Naturally, the flames couldn't burn him. Gao Zhihong looked at her gratefully and stood guard beside Xia Changtian. The Left Emissary looked at Sima Yue. He didn't expect her to use a spatial lock to save Xia Changtian's life. His eyes flashed with ruthlessness as he charged towards her. "You want to hurt my Yu? Little Seven went over and started fighting with the Left Emissary. Little Seven is so powerful. The people from the academy exclaimed when they saw that Little Seven wasn't at a disadvantage at all. They knew that Little Seven was powerful and could take down all the guards from the Alchemist Guild. But they didn't expect her to be so powerful. Many black-robed men saw that the Left Emissary was being held back by Little Seven and attacked Sima Yue. They were all monarch-ranked experts. Sima Yue couldn't fight them head-on. Pooh, pooh. Those who attacked Sima Yue all exploded and died. This scene was even stranger than the one just now. Who is it? Song Changjie looked around and didn't see such a powerful person. Since when can people from the inner regions interfere with the matters of the outer regions? A figure silently appeared in the air and glanced at everyone. They immediately felt suffocated. Sima Yue recognized that person. It was the steward of the Xianqiu clan. Xianqiu saw that she was looking at him and said, "Young master was afraid that today's matter would hurt you. That's why he asked me to come and take a look." Sima Yue nodded at him, Thank you. Who are you? The left emissary and little seven separated. He looked at Qianqiu and felt a sense of fear. This person was definitely more powerful than a monarch-ranked expert. The matters of the Alchemist Guild are not something you can interfere with. Put away your little abacus. Scram! Qianqiu shouted, and those black-robed men all spat out blood. It was just a light shout, and it was already like this. How terrifying was his power! Everyone looked at him. He was just a skinny old man, but he made them feel like ants looking up at a tall mountain. Why? You don't want to leave? Qianqiu squinted his eyes and his killing intent intensified. Let's go. The left emissary thought about it. Since they were no match for him, they would only die if they stayed here. It was better to stay alive and accept the punishment. At least they had a chance to live. He opened a space tunnel and left with his men. Lord Left Emissary, don't leave us behind. Zhao Xiangrui saw that they were really leaving and shouted. But the other party did not intend to bother. After the black-robed men went in, the space tunnel closed. Qianqiu cupped his hands towards Sima Yue and said, Young Master said that if young Master Yue is free, you should visit the courtyard. Yue will definitely visit another day. Sima Yue returned the greeting. The other party had saved his life, and he owed him a favor. No matter what, he had to personally thank the other party. Qianqiu saw the gratitude in Sima Yue's eyes and smiled in satisfaction. His figure flashed and disappeared. Sima Yue saw that Xiachong Tian and the rest were still in a daze and said, President, Alliance Head, shouldn't we settle the matters here? Chapter 10-13. Read 336. When Xiachong Tian and the others left the city, the people from the Qianqiu clan didn't come, so they didn't see them. Now, seeing such a person suddenly appear, he and Zhao Xiangqi were not mentally prepared at all. Only when Qianqiu left and Sima Yue reminded them did they regain their senses. Yue, who is that? Xiachong Tian asked. People from the Qianqiu clan. President, you don't know? Sima Yue was surprised. The Qianqiu clan has come to the city? Xiachong Tian spoke with surprise. I never expected that a hidden clan would come here as well. Since that force from the inner region dares to appear here in public, I think they no longer intend to hide their identity. Zhao Xiangqi said. If it wasn't for this expert, it would have been difficult for us to take down these people today. Let's not talk about that for now. Let's deal with the matters here first. Gao Jihong said. And let's settle things first. Xiachong Tian replied. He wasn't good at dealing with these things, but someone would do it for him. Soon Song Changjie, Zhao Xiangrui, and the others were all captured. The corpses were also disposed of as a warning to those who were disloyal, but had yet to express their disloyalty. Since things had turned out like this today, the competition could not continue. Therefore, after a final discussion, the alchemy competition was postponed for 10 days. The remaining people returned to their own residences to wait. Zhao Xiangqi and Hong Yi brought the people back to the Dan Alliance. As people who had contributed greatly, the people from the academy followed Xiachong Tian, and the others to the Alchemist Guild. This was her second time here. Unlike the last time she was captured, this time she was treated very well. The news of her saving Xiachong Tian at the plaza had already spread throughout the entire Cloud Sea City. Being able to use spatial seal at such a young age, being an alchemist who was going to participate in the competition, and even having a rock king as her contracted beast, many powers were tempted by her and fantasized about her joining them. Along the way, she felt as if she was Tang Seng's meat that was coveted by others. Many people would come up to her and greet her politely and introduce themselves. She didn't like this feeling, so she dragged Little Seven and Han Miaoshuang to the medicine garden to relax. She called out Little Roar to fuse with him, but before he could open the enchantment disappeared. There is someone here, Seven said. Sima Yue looked inside and saw Qianqiu sitting in the herb garden looking at them. Why are you here? Seven asked. I'm smelling the medicinal herbs. This is something I have to do every day. Qianqiu smiled and said. Is that so? Little Seven sniffed. The herbs here are all very ordinary. They're not as good as yours. A world in a flower, a Bodhi in a leaf. Although these medicinal herbs are not that expensive, they have their own uses and tastes. Xianqiu, he continued. Not all medicinal herbs are the same. Xianqiu, his faint aura calmed Sima Yu's restless heart. Thank you for today, she said as she walked up to him. I've said it before, we're friends. Since I know that you're involved in this matter, it's only right for me to send someone over to take a look. Xianqiu, he said. There's no need for thanks between us. Sima Yue was a little embarrassed. Why did this guy make it sound like they had a good relationship? As expected, Han Miaoshuang and the rest misunderstood. Little junior brother, are you very familiar with this young master? Han Miaoshuang asked. Let me introduce you guys. This is Xianqiu clan's young master. This is my senior sister Han Miaoshuang. This is my senior brother Su Xiaoxiao. This is Rainbow. Young master Xianqiu? The person who saved you today was talking about young master? Han Miaoshuang said. Yes. Sima Yue said. We're friends. You guys know that we know each other. Didn't I tell you guys the last time I came back? He's the one who brought us out. You said he's a friend. So it's him. Han Miaoshuang said. You guys haven't known each other for long. Some people, even if you know each other for 1,000 years, you can't become friends. And some people you just need a glance to recognize them. Xianqiu, he said. Sima Yue nodded in agreement. She believed in this too. Affinity was important, but it wasn't absolute. That's true, Han Miaoshuang said. Some people just can't become friends. Since you guys are friends, you guys can chat. We'll go to other places first. Since you guys are You's senior brother and senior sister, let's go together. After such a thing happen, this place is probably the only quiet place. Xianqiu, he said. He waved his hand, and the enchantment that was removed was rearranged. Since that's the case, let's just stay here. Sima Yue said. Those people outside are really a headache. I didn't expect Yue to be so outstanding. People from the sect will come out and join other forces in the future. They're more interested in you. Naturally, they want to build a relationship with you. Xianqiu, he said. He already knew about Sima Yue. At that time, he was very surprised too. It took him a while to digest the news. A person from the lower continents could actually reach this stage in such a short time. He didn't know if it was because her talent was too demonic or because the others were too weak. Sima Yue saw how calm he was and suddenly said, Did you guys inform Rainbow and the others? Xianqiu, he smiled. If the people from the inner regions didn't make a move, it wouldn't be good for us to make a move. Coincidentally, we knew that they were nearby. So we got someone to inform them. That meant that he already knew that she had the King of the Rocks. Thinking about it, even if he didn't investigate, his clansmen would have sent people to investigate her. For people with their abilities, it wasn't difficult to find out about her past. So you were the one who informed us. Rainbow said happily. Thank you. You're welcome. Xianqiu, he said. However, the forces from the inner regions will definitely take their anger out on you. You have to be careful in the future. I will. Sima Yue nodded. Weren't you sniffing the medicine here? How did you know about it? Little Seven asked. I don't have clairvoyance, but I have clairvoyance. Xianqiu, he smiled. It must be your guards who told you. Little Seven said. Xianqiu, he didn't deny or admit it. He didn't plan to tell her that he sensed it. Take this. Xianqiu, he took out a jade pendant and handed it to Sima Yue. What is this? When you reach the inner regions, if you meet with any danger, you can show this to them. It might be useful. Xianqiu, he said. This was an orchid-shaped jade pendant. The flower on it was as clear and elegant as its owner. It was intoxicating. If only he could see it. Chapter 10:14. Kong Di's gaze and faint smile made her swallow the words of rejection that were stuck in her throat. Thank you. Sima Yue took the jade pendant and made up her mind to find a way to let him see the world with his own eyes. She understood that people like him were very lonely. Because of his identity and body, he rarely had friends. Whenever he met someone he liked, he would want to treat that person well. If it's someone who knows about Xianqiu clan, they'll definitely buy it if you give it to them. If they don't know, it's just an ordinary jade pendant. Xianqiu, he said. So it's not 100% useful. Regardless of whether it was useful or not, this was his intention. She would remember this friendship. At the same time, at the place where the Sima family was staying, Sima Xianshu and the others were excitedly telling Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Feng about what happened today. There was a thick stack of papers on the tea table in the main seat. It was the first-hand information sent by the shadow team. Uncle Lu Feng, you didn't see it. When the Taowu clan flew over and landed beside her, their formation wasn't any worse than when our people came out. Sima Yifei said. Also, if it wasn't for you today, that guild's president would have died. That space seal was extremely beautiful. I don't think anyone in our generation is able to seal off such a large area. Moreover, it can withstand such a powerful attack. You can see how solid that space is. Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Feng only nodded. They weren't too agitated. Uncle Lu Feng, aren't you surprised? Sima Yifei called out when he saw their calm reactions. Surprised? Sima Lu Feng said. Then why are you so calm? Sima Lu Feng picked up the paper on the table. We already know everything that you've said. Didn't you guys not go to the competition? Sima Qiqi said. Sima Lu Feng didn't say anything and passed the paper to them. Sima Yiyun and the rest took it over to take a look. It had clearly investigated Sima Yoyue's recent affairs. Even the incident in the dark forest was her doing. This level of strength was truly admirable. Oh my God! The four of them gathered together to read, and they cried out in surprise again and again as they read. This is too perverted. Sima Yifei cried out after he finished reading. Is this really a person? Sima Qiqi said in disbelief. Could there be a mistake in the dark forest? The person mentioned here doesn't look like Yu Yue. I didn't think of it at that time, but according to what happened later on, I can confirm that it's her. Sima Lu Feng said. Oh my God, this is too scary. She's only in her 30s, but she's experienced more than someone who's lived for 300 years. Sima Qiqi said. Compared to him, we are simply too weak. Sima Xianshu said. That's right, but she is Uncle Lu Xian's daughter. Like father, like son. Sima Yiyun said. There are still some things that haven't been reported yet, but these are enough to shock people. If Lu Xian knew that his daughter was so powerful, he would definitely be very happy. Sima Lu Feng said. Uncle Lu Feng, you still haven't found Uncle Lu Xian's whereabouts? Sima Yiyun asked. No, but I already have a general direction. Sima Lu Feng said. Do you know where he went? I know where he was last seen, but I don't know where he went. But with a general direction, it'll be easier to investigate. Sima Lu Feng said. Didn't the clan forbid you from investigating? Those people. Sima Lu Yun snorted, full of disdain and dissatisfaction. You juniors shouldn't ask about Lu Xian's matters. Sima Lu Feng said. Remember, Yoyue's news can't be leaked out. Don't let the clan know. I don't think so. Sima Xianshu said. We're not the only power in the inner regions. Gu clan, and those other clans have sent people over. Although we didn't say it, Yoyue's name is too easy to recognize. Once they hear it, they'll know that she's from our clan. There are very few people in the Yue generation, and there aren't many who stand out. But Gu clan is close to us, so they should know. Sima Yiyun said. Who's the leader from Gu clan? Sima Lu Feng asked. Gu Shichao and their 15th elder. Sima Xianshu said. They will talk to them, and ask them to keep it a secret. Sima Lu Feng said. No need. Sima Lu Yun said. Why? If we look for them specially, they'll be interested in Yue instead. If we don't say anything, they might not say anything. Sima Lu Yun said. If they really find out, we'll explain it to them. That works too. Then the few of you shouldn't look for her casually. Keep a distance from her, and don't let them find out anything unusual. Got it. Sima Lu Feng said. Got it. Sai, I really want to pry open Yoyue's brain and see the structure inside. How did Uncle Lu Xian give birth to such an evildoer? Sima Yi sighed. When we're stronger, we'll be able to bring her home, Sima Yi said. We will, Sima Xianshu said. I think, with her talent and ability, it won't be long before she can go back. She will. They all believed that day wouldn't be too far away. Sima Yue and the others stayed in the medicine garden until Mao Sanquan contacted them to go back. They then left and went to the front to look for them. Yue, thank you for today. Xia Changtian looked at Sima Yue and cupped his hands in gratitude. If it wasn't for her, he reckoned that he would be done for today. President, you're too polite. Sima Yue stood to one side and avoided his bow, saying, This is what I should do. You bowing to me is too much. Not to mention his identity as the president, his age was enough for him to be an old man. She couldn't accept his bow to a young brat. President, the matter is almost settled. We'll head back first, Mao Sanquan said. Go on. You're tired today. Go back and have a good rest. Prepare for the competition later, Xia Changtian said and then winked at Sima Yue. You have to work hard. I'm looking forward to your results. Sima Yue saw him winking at her and goosebumps rose on her body. Why did she feel that this guy had an ulterior motive for smiling? What a scary smile. Gao Zhihong, who was at the side, knew what this guy was thinking. He probably wanted to get her into the guild. If her results in alchemy were good, it would be perfectly justifiable to get her in. Sima Yue saw Xia Changtian like that, and left the Alchemist Guild as if she was escaping. They went back to rest for 10 days. In these 10 days, Sima Yue brought Han Miaoshuang and the others to the Spirit Pagoda to go into seclusion. Although she hadn't advanced to 8th grade, she felt that she was infinitely close. Chapter 10-15. Read 336. While Sima Yue was in closed-door cultivation, news about her spread throughout Ocean of Cloud City. No matter if it was the fact that she'd utilized a spatial lockdown to save Xia Changtian, or the fact that she possessed a contracted beast of the King of Rocks, every single one of these things was spread like a legend. Sima Yue originally wanted to go out for a walk when she was free. However, after going out once and being stared at like a panda, she didn't plan to go out again, and obediently stayed in the Spirit Pagoda to refine pills. After staying in the Spirit Pagoda for a few months, the day of the alchemy competition finally arrived. Sima Yue brought Han Miaoshuang and the others out a day earlier to rest and buffer. You guys came out. Little Seven and Mao Sanquan came in from outside, and just happened to see her coming down the stairs. They bounced over. Where did you go? Sima Yue hugged her and asked. Old Mao and I went out for a walk. Little Seven said. Are you the one who pestered Director Mao to go out with you? Sima Yue laughed when she saw Mao Sanquan's helpless expression. Little Seven smiled. I was bored, and you guys were in closed-door cultivation, so I could only drag him along to accompany me. Sima Yue poked her forehead. Director Mao is so busy, but he still wants to play with you. Although Little Seven felt that she needed to protect those students, she wasn't very close to them. Even Han Miaoshuang and the others were close because of Sima Yue. Therefore, it was basically impossible to find those people to accompany shopping. No matter how he thought about it, it was better to have Mao Sanquan accompany him. Other than Little Seven who went outside, Wu Lamai and Shui Qingmen also left the Little Realm and stayed in the Alchemist Guild. Xia Changtian, Wu Lamai and the others got to know each other when they were in the Little Realm. They heard that they were Yu's adoptive parents and wanted to see the situation of the city outside. Xia Changtian invited them to stay at the Alchemist Guild. After the cleansing, there were much fewer people in the city, and it was much safer. Even if there were some small conflicts, with Wu Lamai's strength, it wouldn't be a problem. Furthermore, with the privileges given by the president of the Alchemist Guild and the president of the Dan Alliance, they could go wherever they wanted. No one dared to touch them. Moreover, Shui Qingman's condition was rather stable now. As long as she ate UUS pills on time every day, she would be fine. So these days, she and Wu Lamai wandered around together. Sometimes they would call Little Seven along. Sometimes the two of them wanted to enjoy their time together, so they would leave little Seven alone. Then little Seven would drag Mao San Quan out to play. Tomorrow is the competition. Just do your best. Mao San Quan said, the Pill Alliance has cleared out a lot of forces this time, and our position is stable again. Sima Yu and Han Miaoshuang looked at each other and relaxed when they saw each other. If this competition was related to whether the academy could continue to stay in the Dan Alliance, then they had to get a good ranking. The pressure was self-evident. Now that there was no pressure, they could go all out and compete. At night, Sima Yu sat at the table reading. Because little Seven came back to stay in the same room with her after Wu Lingyu left, she was lying on the bed reading. These books were given to her by Sima Yu. She said that it was to understand this world better. Yu, where did your senior brother go? Little Seven was tired from reading, and asked while lying on the bed. Senior brother? Sima Yu raised her head and said, speaking of which, they didn't show up when the competition started last time. Didn't they say that the Sage Pavilion's people came? Why didn't I see them? I really don't know. Little Seven said. I went out for a walk. I heard that the Sage Pavilion didn't come last time. It seemed like they were tied up by something. Then they might not come to the competition this time? Sima Yu said. Maybe. You miss him, don't you? Just tell him if you miss him. Little Seven teased. Children shouldn't talk about such nonsense. Sima Yu kept her book and prepared to sleep. She wanted to rest well for tomorrow's competition. But just as she got up, she felt someone approaching. Yu, it's Sima Luyan. Little Seven jumped up. Should we stop him? What is he doing here? Sima Yu was confused. While she was hesitating, Sima Luyan had already arrived in her room. Sima Luyan looked at Sima Yu, thinking about the news about her that had been sent to him these few days. His heart was filled with emotions. Such an outstanding person, no wonder she was his child. It was a pity that he couldn't bring such a child back to the clan. Do you have something to say? Sima Yu asked. Yes. Sima Luyan grabbed her shoulder and flew out with her. Stop. Little Seven didn't expect that he would take Yu away. She was a step slower and couldn't stop him. She quickly chased after him. Mao San Quan, who was meditating in the room, suddenly opened his eyes and flew out of the window. He saw Sima Luyan grabbing Sima Yu and flying away, chasing after them. Sima Luyan might not be as powerful as Little Seven, but his speed was rather fast. Little Seven chased after them to a secluded place. Sima Luyan stopped and let go of Sima Yu. Where is this? Why did you bring me here? Sima Yu looked at him cautiously. I brought you here because I have something to tell you. Sima Lufeng flew over from another direction and stopped beside them. What is it that you can't say in the inn and have to come here? Sima Yu was a little angry that they brought her out without permission. Mao San Quan chased after them. When he saw Sima Luyan and Sima Lufeng, he added Sima Yu in the middle and shouted, Who are you? Why did you capture my academy student? Instructor Mao. Sima Yu didn't expect Mao San Quan to come too. Mao San Quan? Heavenly Sex Instructor. Sima Lufeng looked at Mao San Quan and said, We didn't have any bad intentions when we looked for Yu. You don't have to hate us. Yu? Mao San Quan looked at Sima Yu. Sima Yu looked at Sima Luyan and said, Instructor Mao, they won't hurt me, at least not now. Tell me, why did you look for me? Yu, don't pull a long face. We looked for you to tell you that you must get first place in this alchemy competition. Sima Lufeng said. Why? What does my results have to do with you? Sima Yu asked with a sunken face. She had just gotten rid of the academy's pressure. Why did these people come to ask her? Of course it has something to do with you. Sima Lufeng said. Your alchemy competition is split into 2 groups. You just need to get first place in your group. Why? Because the reward for first place is the 10,000-year-old Methria fruit. You must get it. Sima Luyan said. Not interested. She wasn't curious about that thing. There was this fruit in the spirit pagoda. You must get it because it's the key to going home. Chapter 1016. Remember it in 1 second and read it at any time. Mobile users, please visit. Sima Yue looked at Sima Lu Yun and remained silent for a while before saying, I don't want to go home before I make things clear. Maybe you don't need it, but your father does. Sima Lu Yun continued. After obtaining the 10,000-year Methria fruit, your father can only come back if he wants to. What do you mean? Sima Yue frowned. Back then, your father was expelled from the family because of your mother. But he loves the clan very much. He said before that the clan is his root. Sima Lu Feng said. What does this have to do with the 10,000-year-old Methria fruit? Because of your parents, a highly respected member of the family was injured. If he doesn't recover, your father won't be able to return. If he recovers and your father wants to come back, there's still a glimmer of hope. Sima Lu Feng explained. What do you mean my father is back? Where is he now? Sima Yue had a bad feeling. Sima Lu Yun hesitated for a moment and said, After your father brought you away, he never came back. We don't know where he is. We've been looking for him for more than 10 years, but we haven't found him. As expected, Sima Yue's heart sank as she asked, Is he still alive? The situation is not optimistic. Sima Lu Yun took out a box and opened it. Sima Lu Xian's life jade was lying inside. Although it wasn't completely rotten, it was covered with spider webs. Sima Yue looked at the life token and felt a sense of familiarity, followed by a sharp pain in her heart. Father. She reached out to touch the life tablet. Because it was not completely broken, there was still a trace of warmth on it. When did this happen? A few years ago. Sima Lu Feng said. The clan's core disciples used the best jade stones, which had spirituality. If the person recovers, these cracks will automatically repair themselves. That's why my father hasn't recovered from his injuries. All these years, he's been like this. Sima Yue's eyes turned misty. She could not imagine what kind of environment would cause a spiritual master to be injured for so many years without being able to recover. We've already found some news. Although we haven't found him yet, we've already found his whereabouts before he disappeared. Sima Lu Feng comforted her. Sima Yue looked up at him. The concern on his face was genuine. She took a deep breath and tried to calm herself down. Tell me the news. No. Sima Lu Yun rejected without even thinking. Those aren't things you can come into contact with. If one day you can return to the clan or grow up, it won't be too late to find out. Tell me. Sima Yue looked at him with determination. After obtaining the Methria fruit, I'll tell you some of the things that you can know. Sima Lu Yun continued. Otherwise, I won't let you know about those dangerous things. Sima Yue looked at him and said, If I give you the 10,000 years Methria fruit, will you tell me those things? Yes. With a thought, Sima Yue took out a fruit that resembled the Methria Buddha. Now tell me. Sima Lu Yun was stunned. He chose some things to tell her. After half an hour, they ended the conversation. The things you said have nothing to do with my father now. Sima Yue was dissatisfied. I've said it before. I won't let you take risks before you grow up. Sima Lu Yun insisted. I promised him that I'll protect his daughter. I'll check it out myself. Sima Yue continued. From the information you gave me, I think it's best if you don't. Sima Lu Feng continued. We have a stronger information network than you. But we haven't found any news for 30 years. I understand how you feel. But your mission now should be to increase your strength. That way, you won't be too passive when you return to the clan and find your father. If I find him, I'll send someone to inform you. Sima Lu Yun said. How can I trust you? If you're just an ordinary person, I might let you continue living your ordinary life. But you're not. The things you've done, the power you have, it shows that you're not like that. Telling you is better than hiding it from you. Sima Lu Yun said. Should I thank you for your compliment? Sima Yue snorted. You're his daughter. Although Sima Lu Yun was harsh, he was satisfied with Sima Yue. Your uncle Lu Feng is right. What you should do now is not to spend your time on the impossible, but to increase your strength. You're a smart person. You should understand this. Sima Yue was silent for a while. She nodded and said, "But I have a condition." "What condition?" "Give me your life jade." Sima Luyin was silent for a while. He passed the box to her. "Thank you." Sima Yue took the box carefully. Her hands were trembling. "Although you gave the Methria fruit, if you can get good results in the alchemy competition, your parents will be proud of you," Sima Luyin said. "I also hope that I'll be their pride." Sima Yue rubbed her life jade and said faintly, "Before you become strong, it's best not to let the clan know about you. We'll cover up the matters in Cloud Sea City for you. You have to be careful outside. Not everyone in the clan wants you to return to the clan," Sima Luyin said. "If I get someone to look for you, I'll get him to take this. Other than that, don't trust anyone who comes to look for you." After speaking, he took out a jade token and split it into two. He gave her half of it and kept the rest for himself. Sima Yue saw how careful he was. She knew that the situation was more complicated than what she thought. She nodded. "You're a good child. I think he'll want to see you," Sima Luyin said. "Wait for our news." Sima Yue responded obediently. At this moment, she finally had the attachment of a junior to an elder. Chapter 10:17. 1 second to remember. Exciting reading at any time. Sima Yue looked at Sima Luyin. After a moment of silence, she said, "I don't want to go home before I understand the situation." "You might not need it, but your father needs it," Sima Luyin said. "After obtaining the 10,000-year-old Methria fruit, your father can only come back if he wants to." "What do you mean?" Sima Yue frowned. "Back then, your father was chased out of the family because of your mother. However, he loves the family very much. He said that the family is his root," Sima Lufeng said. "What does this have to do with the 10,000-year-old Methria fruit?" "Because of your parents, a highly respected person in the family was injured. If he doesn't recover, your father will not be able to come back. If he recovers, there is still a glimmer of hope for your father to come back," Sima Lufeng explained. "What do you mean by my father coming back? Where is he now?" A bad premonition arose in Sima Yue's heart. Sima Luyin hesitated for a moment and said, "After your father left with you, he never came back. We also do not know where he is. We searched for more than 10 years, but we could not find him." As expected, Sima Yue's heart sank. She asked, "Then is he still alive?" "The situation is not optimistic." Sima Luyin took out a box and opened it. Sima Liuxuan's life token lay inside. Although it was not completely rotten, it was covered in cobwebs. Sima Yue looked at the life token and felt a sense of familiarity. What followed was a sharp pain in her heart. "Father." She reached out to touch the life token. Because it was not completely destroyed, there was still a trace of warmth on it. "When did this happen?" "A few years ago," Sima Lufeng said. "The core disciples of the clan use the best jade stones, which have spirituality. If the person recovers, these cracks will automatically repair themselves. That's why my father has not recovered after being seriously injured. He has always been like this for so many years." Sima Yue's eyes became misty. She could not imagine what kind of environment could cause a spiritualist to be injured for so many years and not recover. "We have already found some information. Although we have not found him, we have already found traces of him before he disappeared," Sima Lufeng comforted her. Sima Yue looked up at him. The concern on his face was genuine. She took a deep breath and tried to calm herself down. She said, "Tell me the information." "No," Sima Luyin rejected without hesitation. "Those are not things that you can come into contact with. It won't be too late to know if you can return to your clan, or if you have grown up. Tell me." Sima Yue looked at him resolutely. "After I obtain the Methria fruit, I will tell you some of the things that you can know," Sima Luyin said. "Otherwise, I will not let you know about those dangerous things." Sima Yue looked at him and said, "If I give you the 10,000-year-old Methria fruit, will you tell me those things?" "Yes." Sima Yue moved her mind. A fruit that looked like the Methria Buddha appeared in her hand. Now tell me. Sima Luyan was stunned. He chose some things to tell her. Half an hour later, they ended their conversation. The things that you said have nothing to do with my father now. Sima Yue was somewhat dissatisfied. I said before, I will not let you take risks before you have grown up. Sima Luyan had his own insistence. I promised him that I will protect his daughter. I will investigate it myself. Sima Yue said. I will investigate it from the information that you have given me. I think it is better for you not to. Sima Lufeng said. We have a more powerful information network than you, but we have not been able to find any information for more than 30 years. I understand your feelings, but your current task should be to increase your strength as soon as possible. This way, when you return to your clan and find your father, you will not be too passive. If I find him, I will send someone to inform you. Sima Luyan said. How can I trust you? If you are just an ordinary person, I might let you continue to live your ordinary life. But you are not. The things that you have done, the power that you possess, all of it shows that you are not like that. Telling you is better than hiding it from you. Sima Luyan said. Should I thank you for your praise? Sima Yue snorted. You are his daughter. Although Sima Luyan was a harsh person, he was still very satisfied with Sima Yue. Your uncle Lufeng is right. What you should do now is not to spend your efforts on the impossible search, but to increase your strength. You are a smart person, you should understand this principle. Sima Yue was silent for a moment, then nodded and said, But I have a condition. What condition? Give me your life tablet. Sima Luyan was silent for a moment, then he passed the box to her. Thank you. Sima Yue carefully received the box, her hands were slightly trembling. Although you gave them the methria fruit, if you are able to get a good result in the pill competition, your parents will be proud of you, Sima Luyan said. I also hope that I will be their pride. Sima Yue caressed the life tablet and said faintly, Before you are strong enough, it is best not to let the family know about you. We will cover up the matter in Cloud Sea City for you, but you have to be careful outside. Not everyone in the family wants you to return to the family, Sima Luyan said. If I send someone to look for you, I will ask him to take this. Apart from that, don't trust anyone who comes looking for you. After he finished speaking, he took out a jade tablet and split it into two. He gave one half to her and kept the other half for himself. Seeing how careful he was, Sima Yue knew that the situation was more complicated than she had imagined. She nodded. You are a good child. I think he will want to see you. Sima Luyan said. Wait for our news. Ma Yue responded obediently. At this moment, she felt the attachment of a junior to an elder. The corner of Sima Luyan's mouth curled up into a faint smile. He took out a book and said, Study this when you have time. Sima Yue flipped to the first page. There were only 4 big words, Sima family. Genealogy. Yes, these are all the core members. You can learn more about the people and matters of the family from them. All right. If there's anything, use this to contact me and Lufeng. Don't look for anyone else. Sima Luyan passed her another box. Sima Yue took the box. Sima Luyan stretched out his hand and patted her head. Sima Yue felt that there was another figure in her sea of consciousness. Uncle Luyan. Sima Yue stared at him with her eyes wide open. Sima Luyan did not say anything. He turned around and flew away with Sima Lufeng. 1 second to remember, exciting reading at any time. Mobile users please visit. High-speed first post, 5th Miss Miracle Doctor's latest chapter. This chapter is at //. If you think this chapter is good, please don't forget to recommend it to your QQ group and Weibo friends. Chapter 1018. Read 336. You look. Little Seven pulled Sima Yue's hand and asked her to look at the entrance. Sima Yue was sizing up the people around her when Little Seven pulled her towards the entrance. No one. VIP entrance. Little Seven reminded. Sima Yue turned around and saw the person who came in. Her eyes flashed with joy. Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi walked at the front. followed by Wu Lamai and Shui Qing. Man walking with them was Wu Lingyu and that old guy from the Sage Pavilion. That's the old man from the Sage Pavilion. Little Seven saw the Sage Pavilion's pavilion master, Xiao Yun Xiao, and touched her chin with her little finger, looking as if she was deep in thought. Sima Yue also noticed Xiao Yun Xiao. She had heard of this name many times, but this was the first time she saw him with her own eyes. When she thought about how he had been eyeing Wu Lingyu's body, she looked at him with a sharp gaze. Xiao Yun Xiao felt as if he was being stared at. He looked down at the contestants, but he didn't see anyone looking at him with dissatisfaction. Sima Yue raised her head when she felt that the gaze had left. They came at the right time. Little Seven said faintly. He didn't come when something happened, but now he appeared. Sima Yue looked at Wu Lingyu's pale face and said, "Senior brother is injured." "He's injured?" Little Seven looked carefully and said, "It does seem a little abnormal, but from the looks of it, he should be fine. Don't worry." "Yes. Don't worry, I won't affect the competition," Sima Yue replied. She could also see that although he was injured, since he appeared here, it meant that the matter was over. He was not a person who would joke about his life. Well, apart from her, everything else was like this. Xia Changtian and the others walked up to the rostrum and invited Wu Lamai and the others to take a seat. Then they signaled to the host who was waiting below. Song Jiang had been killed in the previous turmoil. This time the host was re-elected by the Alchemy Guild and the Guild. After the host went up, the entire venue immediately quieted down. "I am the host of this competition, Ji Qingyuan. I won't say any more nonsense. Now please enter the arena." Ji Qingyuan's words were concise and powerful. After everyone heard his words, they all walked into the arena. Ji Qingyuan waved his hand, and over 1,000 tables and chairs appeared in front of the contestants. "There is a test paper in the desk drawer in front of you. Your task today is to finish this test paper." By the way, there was Group 1 at the front and Group 2 at the back. The papers for the two groups were different. Remember to check before you do the questions. After that, he stopped talking. All the contestants opened their drawers. Inside, they had prepared paper and pens. Sima Yue took out the test papers and looked at them. They were the same as the test papers she used to take in school. There was a big Group 2 written on the top corner. So stupid. She couldn't help but complain. Why was it the younger Group 1 but the second group? So stupid. She roughly flipped through it. This thick stack would take at least half a day to finish. There are so many questions. How are the people from the union going to judge? Someone muttered in a low voice. Who knows? Hurry up and do the questions. If you can't finish them, you will be eliminated. That's right. Hurry up and do it. Everyone do your own thing. If not, you will be considered as breaking the rules and will be eliminated. Ji Qingyuan warned those who were muttering. Those people immediately shut their mouths. They came here. If they were eliminated because of this, their bad reputation would spread throughout the alchemy circle. Sima Yue flipped to the first page of the test paper and started to do the questions one by one. These questions started with some basic knowledge. For example, how to refine the herbs better, what the effects of certain herbs were, which herbs should not be mixed with, etc. From simple to complicated, from easy to difficult, the questions became deeper and deeper. The contestants took longer and longer to think. Sima Yue lowered her head to do the questions. She felt that someone was staring at her. She raised her head and saw an unfamiliar man looking at her. That person saw that she was looking at him. He didn't feel awkward and lowered his head to continue with his questions. Sima Yue spun the charcoal pencil in her hand. She didn't know this person, but he seemed to know her. She thought for a while. After confirming that she didn't know this person, she stopped thinking about who he was and continued with her questions. As time passed, many contestants finished their questions and queued up to hand in their papers. Sima Yue also joined the queue. Previously, she was like the others. With so many questions, how long would it take for the association to come up with the results? But now she knew that they only needed a short while to come up with the contestants' results. She was at the front of the queue. Soon it was her turn. Put your paper in here. Ji Qingyuan revealed a rare smile. Sima Yue was a little surprised. But she still smiled at him and put her paper in. This was a special potion. It wouldn't wet the paper, but it would show the correct answer. If it was wrong, the answer would turn red. What a high-grade potion. She couldn't help but exclaim. This isn't that high-grade, Ji Qingyuan said. The answer was originally on the paper. It was just that it was written using a special potion. This potion just shows the answer. I see. Thank you. The answer slowly appeared. The calculator at the side picked up her paper and tabulated her score. 99 points. The calculator reported the result. 99 points? 99 points. Everyone exclaimed in shock. Sima Yue also exclaimed. Ji Qingyuan took the paper and flipped through it. Indeed, there was only one red spot. 99 points. Sima Yue frowned. How can it be 99 points? Let me see the paper. Ji Qingyuan passed the paper to her. Sima Yue flipped to the red spot and looked at it carefully, saying, This should be wrong. It was a judgment question. It asked if the water attribute red stargrass could be mixed with the fire attribute red stargrass. This is common knowledge. These two herbs can't be refined together. Ji Qingyuan said, These two herbs have strong medicinal properties. If they are mixed together, it will cause an explosion. So this question is correct. Sima Yue shook her head and insisted on her own opinion. She said with certainty, as long as the method is right, they can be refined together. Pfft. A few snickers came from behind. Red stargrass and red stargrass can be used together? Are you still an alchemist? This is the most common knowledge. How can you not know? That's right. Isn't it just a wrong question? Do you have to be so hesitant? If these two herbs can be mixed together, I will eat this paper. Chapter 10:19. Read 336. Sima Yue did not want to care about the people behind her, but their sarcastic words made her very unhappy. Moreover, she also felt that as an alchemist, she had an obligation to correct some common-sense mistakes. You said that if these two herbs can really be mixed together, you will eat the test paper? She turned around and looked at the man who spoke just now. That's right. Gu Shiping lifted his chin and looked at Sima Yue arrogantly. He couldn't stand Sima Yue. He used to be the center of attention, but now no one could see him. They only saw this clown who came out of nowhere. Sima Yue didn't know why he was looking at her with such a challenging gaze, but she never intended to show mercy to people who provoked her. I believe you won't go back on your word in front of so many people. She smiled at him, then turned to Ji Qingyuan and said, The scarlet star grass and fire cliff grass are both very strong. If they are mixed together, it will produce an even stronger medicinal effect. For some powerful medicinal pills, this can double the effect. But these two herbs can't be fused together. Even if you add some fused herbs, it won't work, Ji Qingyuan said. That's because we haven't found the right blend yet, Sima Yue said. As long as we find the right fusing agent, these two herbs can be fused together. Why don't you prove it to us? Otherwise, go away. Don't blindly compete here, Gu Shiping said. Remember what you just said. Sima Yue glanced at him, then took out a red stargrass, a fire cliff grass, and a bunch of black plants that looked a little like earth tiger grass. What is this? It's so black. Is it also a medicinal ingredient? Gu Shiping had never seen such a thing before and sneered. This is not a medicinal herb. But this thing is much more useful than those medicinal herbs, Sima Yue said. But I think, for someone like you who was born with a silver spoon, you must have never seen such an ordinary thing. This is your fusion agent? Ha ha ha, such a black plant that isn't even a medicinal herb. Sima Yue ignored him this time. She took out her alchemy furnace and began to refine the herbs. The two kinds of herbs were quickly refined into medicinal liquid, and then the earth tiger grass was burned to ashes, and the ashes were placed into the pill furnace. After that, he poured the red star grass and the fire cliff grass into the pot, covered the lid, and lit the fire. Bang bang. As the temperature rose, a clanking sound came from inside the furnace. It was very similar to the prelude to an explosion. Haha, the furnace is about to explode. Gu Shiping laughed loudly. I already told you that this is common sense, but you're still arguing. How is it? Have you been slapped in the face by reality? Noisy, Sima Yue said calmly, and continued to focus on the furnace. Bang bang. The movements in the furnace grew bigger and bigger. Aside from Sima Yue, everyone else thought that the furnace would explode in a few seconds. Even Ji Qingyuan was prepared to seal the place the moment the explosion happened. Bang bang. Just when everyone thought that it was about to explode, the sound in the furnace gradually became softer, until it finally quieted down. This is, Gu Shiping and the rest did not believe that it had really fused, but there was no movement inside. Their curiosity was piqued. Sima Yue extinguished the fire, and opened the lid of the furnace. A medicinal fragrance wafted out. This medicinal fragrance is so strong. Everyone present could smell it. Sima Yue patted the furnace and 2 pills flew out. With a wave of her hand, she caught the pills. It really fused. Everyone looked at the pills in her hand in disbelief. Not only did it fuse, she even used these 2 herbs to refine pills. There was no need to talk about the effects. The strong medicinal fragrance was enough to explain everything. Sima Yue handed the pills to Ji Qingyuan saying, "Does this count as proof?" Ji Qingyuan took the pills and looked at them saying, "It really did fuse. In the past, we only looked for the fusing agent in the herbs and failed time and time again. We never thought that the key was not in the herbs. We made a mistake in this question. We will use this answer as the final answer. Your question is correct. Your final score is full marks." The person who was tallying the scores at the side crossed off the previous score, and gave her full marks. Sima Yue glanced at Gu Shiping and did not say anything about letting him eat the paper. She turned around and returned to the resting area. Although she did not say it, her gaze made Gu Shiping's face turn red. He wished he could find a hole to hide in. Alright, let's continue. Next, Sima Yue returned to the resting area. Han Miaoshuang and the rest were already waiting for her. Yu, why didn't you let that guy eat the paper? Little Seven saw that she let that person off so easily and pouted. Let people off when possible. This is not what I believe in. But I don't want to cause trouble blindly. Sima Yue said. I saw this person when I was observing the surroundings. Although I don't know who he is in the inner region. This means that he is from the inner region. It was best that she did not have any enmity with people from the inner region. Anyway, this result is already a huge slap in the face. What does it matter if he eats the paper or not? Little Seven nodded as if she understood. That's right. No matter what. Everyone here saw the 2 herbs fuse together. The truth is already a slap in the face. No matter if he ate the paper or not, everyone saw it. If you force him, it will make you look aggressive. That's right. That's it. Sima Yue said. We are here to compete, not to make enemies. Let's continue to look at the results of the people behind. Those who were able to participate in the alchemy competition were all outstanding. Most of them were able to get more than 90 points. They are all elites among elites. Sima Yue sighed. These are nothing. Han Miaoshuang said. Those who are able to participate are all geniuses among geniuses. They know the basics of medicinal herbs like the back of their hand. But every time they compete, they will find some more obscure knowledge to distance themselves from the rest. The real competition is in practice. Su Xiao said, some people may have good theoretical knowledge, but they are not that good at alchemy. After all, alchemy is much more difficult than theoretical knowledge. Do you guys know that person? Sima Yue pointed at one of the guys and asked. Han Miaoshuang glanced at him and said, No, why? Do you know him? I don't know him either. But he seems to know me. He even looked at me when he was answering the question. Sima Yue said, I'm very sure that I don't know him, but I feel a sense of familiarity. Chapter 1020. Read 336. Su Xiaoxiao and Han Miaoshuang looked at that person carefully and said, He does seem familiar, but after looking at him for a while, we don't know him. This person is strange. Indeed. Observe him closely. Sima Yu said. Oh, okay. After all the results were out, Ji Qingyuan announced the people who had advanced in the first round. His words were still so concise. Those with a score of 95 points and above will start the second match tomorrow morning. After his announcement, everyone began to stand up and leave. Sima Yue glanced at the rostrum. Xiao Yun Xiao and Xiachong Tian were walking in front while Wu Lingyu and Shui Qingman were walking behind them, obediently listening to what Shui Qingman was saying. I've always been curious. That Xiao Yun Xiao is just the pavilion master of the Sage Pavilion in the inner regions. Why is he able to sit with Xiachong Tian and the others, and become the guest of honor for this competition? Han Miao Shuang leaned on Sima Yu's shoulder, and looked at the rostrum with her. It is indeed a little unexpected, Sima Yu said. It would make sense if he was from the inner region. But Xiao Yun Xiao is just a pavilion master from the middle region. He doesn't have a high status. How did he become a guest? Only the president and the alliance master will know, Su Xiao said. You can ask around. But now let's go back to the inn. Sima Yu followed Mao Sanquan and left. Let's go back and rest. I'm exhausted from doing so many questions today. But little junior brother is really amazing. He can even reverse common sense like the scarlet star grass and fire cliff grass. Since she has proven that it is wrong, then it is no longer common sense. That's true. The next day, the contestants arrived at the arena early in the morning, waiting for the day's competition to begin. At 8 o'clock sharp, Xiachong Tian brought everyone in. The moment they arrived, Ji Qingyuan went up on stage and said, "The second round of the pill competition has begun. Contestants, please come on stage." Sima Yue and Han Miao Shuang walked to their respective seats. Ji Qingyuan waved his hand, and another table appeared in front of everyone. The questions for this round are in the drawer. All you need to do is to refine the elixir in the specified time. Ji Qingyuan said. In the end, I'll calculate your results based on the grade, quantity, time, and so on. Let's start now. The contestants opened the drawer. There was a piece of paper and a pile of medicinal ingredients. There were 3 sets of each ingredient. This table is actually a spatial container. Sima Yue took out her paper. It said that she had to concoct the grade 6 or grade 7 pill by the end of the day. The participants in the second group were all under 100 years old, so their ranks wouldn't be too high. She looked at the people in the front row. Their medicinal herbs were obviously used to refine 7th and 8th grade medicinal pills. As she glanced around, she saw the man from yesterday again. He was in the last row of the first group while Sima Yue was in the first row of the second group. Yesterday they were diagonally opposite each other. Today he was in front of her. That person seemed to feel Sima Yu's gaze. He turned around to look at her, then turned back expressionlessly. How strange. Sima Yue shrugged her shoulders and started looking at the pill formulas in her hands. This pill competition was similar to the previous ones. However, there was a slight difference. In the past, one only needed to refine 1 elixir. In this competition, one needed to refine 3 types of elixirs. She checked the 3 pill formulas. The first one was relatively common, the second one was slightly different, and the third one was very rare. Many people had never even seen it before. To refine 3 types of elixirs consecutively, not only did it test one's skills, it also required a high level of mental energy. The continuous operation would make one feel tired towards the end. Of course, it didn't say that one couldn't take mental energy recovery elixirs. However, even if one took the elixir, it would still take a certain amount of time to recover. Sima Yue looked around. The people around her had already taken out their own pill furnaces and started refining. Those who were able to participate in the pill competition were of high status. Hence, their pill furnaces were of higher quality. In comparison, the pill furnace that she casually took out seemed so shabby. Ha ha ha, can such an ordinary pill furnace really refine elixirs? Someone in the stands noticed her pill furnace and laughed. Refining elixirs is definitely not a problem. The person beside him agreed. After all, 3rd and 4th grade elixirs are still elixirs. However, This competition isn't just about refining 3rd or 4th grade elixirs. Don't talk so much. No one will treat you as a mute. Gushi turned around and glared at them. It turned out that the people who were making sarcastic remarks were from the Gu clan. Because of what happened yesterday, they paid extra attention to Sima Yue. Actually, there were quite a few people who had noticed Sima Yu's pill furnace just like them. Yesterday, she had demonstrated how the scarlet star grass and flaming cliff grass could fuse together, which gave everyone a huge shock. It was no surprise that it had attracted everyone's attention today. Doesn't your academy have good resources to prepare a good pill furnace for her? Beside Mao Sanquan, someone who had a good relationship with him teased. Mao Sanquan glanced at him and ignored him. He continued to pay attention to the competition on the stage. Han Miaoshuang, Su Xiaoxiao and 3 other students were in the first group. Sima Yue was the only one in the second group. Sima Yue didn't think that she would be the center of attention. She also didn't think that those people would comment on her pill furnace. She lowered her head and continued to arrange her herbs. Wu Lingyu looked at her busy figure from the rostrum and smiled faintly. Wait a little longer. Wait a little longer, and he would be able to find her. After Sima Yue arranged the herbs properly, she began to refine. The other students had already been refining for quite a while. She refined the herbs one by one, then fused them and condensed them. When she started to condense the pills, the others had already finished refining the first type of elixir. The fragrance of the herbs floated on the stage. When she finished refining, the others had already been refining the second type of elixir for quite a while. She didn't put the elixir into a bottle like the others. She just grabbed it and put it into a jade bottle. Then she started to refine the second type. Yu really isn't anxious at all. There's nothing to be anxious about. It's still early, Mao Sanquan said. Those people were so anxious at the start. This will make them use up more mental energy. Some of them will be more tired towards the end. Just as Mao Sanquan said, many people were tired after refining the second round of elixir. In order to ensure that they could refine the third round of elixir, they ate the mental energy recovery elixir and waited for their mental energy to recover before continuing to refine the elixir. Those people didn't stay idle while they were recovering. They looked around and sized up the contestants around them. Many people saw that Sima Yue was slowly refining the second round of elixir. She didn't have any intention to stop and rest. She took out the herbs for the third type of elixir and started to refine them. Chapter 10:21. After Sima Yue sorted out the ingredients, she began to refine the third type of pill. Right now, she didn't feel tired at all, so refining another batch of pills was no problem at all. This guy's mental strength is too good. Doesn't she feel tired? Do you see fatigue on her face? No. He seems to be quite energetic. This kid's energy is so strong that it's a little scary. That's right. After refining pills for an entire day, she's the only one who hasn't rested. He's already so powerful at such a young age. He'll definitely be a heaven-defying existence in the future. A ray master, contractor of the King of Rocks, alchemist, it would be great if we could pull such a genius into our sect. Even if she had to choose, she would choose our family. Our family has a much better future than yours. Your family? Forget it. How many geniuses have been buried after being recruited by you? Both of you stop arguing. She definitely won't choose either of you. You guys don't have any sense to be quarreling here. What do you mean? It's simple. You guys are disturbing me from watching the competition. Who are you? How dare you meddle in our affairs? Noisy. Shi Qianji waved his hand, and that person immediately grabbed his throat, unable to speak. Shut up. You can talk after the competition. Otherwise, don't even think about talking for the rest of your lives. Shi Qianji turned to look at Sima Yue, who was concentrating on refining pills. Although the two of them were unwilling, they didn't dare to cause any more trouble because they saw Shi Qianji's signature item, a blood-red fan, who in the inner region did not know how powerful Shi Qianji's poison was. Whoever provoked him would definitely not have a good ending. Since he said that he would give them the antidote after he was done, It was wisest to remain silent for now. Sir Divine Envoy, this won't cause any trouble, right? A woman beside Shi Qianji asked. What kind of trouble? Shi Qianji looked at the two people and asked, will you find trouble with me? Woo-woo. The two of them hurriedly shook their heads, indicating that they definitely wouldn't. When that person saw Shi Qianji's blatant threat, he helplessly shook his head. Sir Envoy, Sir Right Envoy, don't worry, no one can tell. Shi Qianji said. Although it is a little strange why he changed his method of revenge, but if he wants to do it, then let him do it. Just make sure he doesn't need anything. Yes. Shi Qianji looked at Sima Yue, the person in front of her, and said, you're waiting to be slapped in the face. Sima Yue was fully focused on controlling medicine Y in the alchemy furnace. She did not notice that the people around her were looking at her, and she did not care if they were watching her or not. If you do well in the alchemy contest, you will make your father proud. Her mind kept replaying this sentence. What kind of results would make her father proud? She didn't know. She only knew that the closer she was to the front, the better. Fusing, condensing, every step was done carefully and methodically, until finally, he succeeded in condensing the core. It was done in one go. The people in the stands were all stunned. From the moment she started inspecting the first batch of pills, she had never stopped until she finished refining all the pills. Moreover, there wasn't the slightest pause or mistake in between. It was as if she had refined each pill over 100 times. This mental strength, it's just, even the people in the first group don't have mental strength as crazy as hers. I wonder if she can compete with the people in the first group. Forget it. How old is she? How old are those people? She's only lived a fraction of their age. Her mental strength is already so crazy. It's impossible for her to surpass them in terms of skills. Even if she can't do it today, she will in the future. Yeah, let's wait and see. Sima Yue placed the refined pills on the table and waved her hand. Immediately, a recorder came forward to record her data, time, grade, quantity, and so on. After the recording was done, Sima Yue walked down the stage. Looking at the entire arena, she was the first person to complete the competition. Yeah, you're amazing. Little Seven raised her little hand excitedly. Not bad. Mao Senquan nodded in satisfaction. Sima Yue returned to her seat, and felt a special gaze on her from the spectator stand. She tilted her head and glanced over. Shi Qianji raised his wine glass and toasted her from afar. Then he smiled and drank the wine. Sima Yue frowned slightly. She realized something and turned her head to look at the stage. The person in front of her, the stranger she felt familiar with. As time went by, more and more people finished refining pills. When it was midnight, Ji Qingyuan announced the end of the competition, and no one was allowed to continue refining pills. Then the recorder went up to record the results. We need half a day to tabulate the results. We will inform everyone of the results tomorrow afternoon. The next competition will be held the day after tomorrow. After he finished speaking, he left with a bunch of recorders. The next morning, everyone was discussing the results and guessing if they could enter the semifinals. But in Sima Yue's room, no one was interested in this. You said that person is Jiang Junxian? Han Miaoshuang widened her eyes and cried out in surprise. I think it should be him. Sima Yue said. I saw Shi Qianji on the stands. If eldest senior brother wasn't here, based on his personality, he wouldn't have gone to watch the competition. Could it be someone else? Su Xiaoxiao asked. Do other people give you a familiar feeling? Sima Yue asked back. No. Han Miaoshuang and Su Xiaoxiao shook their heads. That's it. Sima Yue said. Although he disguised himself so that no one could recognize him, but the way he looked at us was a little different. That's why we felt that he was familiar, yet unfamiliar. So you're saying that that person is really him? Didn't he replace Kang Junchul? Why did he change his appearance to compete now? Little Seven didn't understand. I think he might have thought it through. This way, he can make the Jiang family regret and slap them in the face. Han Miaoshuang shrugged. If I were him, I would also win against Kang Junchul and reveal my identity. I would make those people regret giving up on a more talented person. Then I would kill those people and let them die with grievances. Zhu Xiaoxiao said. So troublesome. Little Seven laid on the table and said, if I were him, I would go up and give Kong Junchil a few rounds. I would beat him until his parents couldn't recognize him. Then, I would cripple his hands and make him unable to refine pills or cultivate for the rest of his life. Violent as usual. Sometimes, it's more painful to slap the other party's face mentally, Sima Yue said, but I think that he might do what Little Seven said. Chapter 1022. In the afternoon, the results of the previous day's competition came out. As expected, Sima Yue was at the top of the list, leaving the second place far behind. The results at the back were all very close. Mao Sanquan and the others were very happy when they heard the results. With her results, not to mention entering the top 100, the first place would definitely belong to her. The academy could finally hold its head high this time. Sima Yue did not react to the result. She only said, there are still a few rounds left. It's not too late to celebrate at the end. She took out Sima Luxian's life jade. Thinking of him who was nowhere to be found, she couldn't feel happy. This time, she was so high profile and worked so hard because she wanted him to be proud of having such a daughter. However, he couldn't see it with his own eyes. She wanted to look for them, but she couldn't. All she could do now was cultivate, cultivate, and cultivate again. When her strength increased, she would be able to look for him. Then she would be able to find out about her mother. Now that the establishment of the organization was on the right track, there was no need for her to manage the subsequent operations. Thinking about the pressure on her, she felt that after this competition, she needed to go into seclusion for a period of time to improve her strength. The next day, the second round of the competition officially began. The number of participants was less than half of the previous day. For today's competition, you'll be refining 3 types of pills that you're good at. Prepare your own ingredients. The final evaluation will still be based on the grade, time, quantity, and so on. Good luck to everyone. Everyone already knew what this level was, so they had prepared enough medicinal herbs in their spatial containers. When Ji Qingyuan made the announcement, they immediately took out the medicinal herbs and began to refine the medicinal pills that they were adept at. Today's time was significantly less than yesterday's, and there was almost no sign of furnace explosions. Everyone was able to complete the refinement at the last minute. For a freak like Sima Yue, she took 2/3 of the time to complete the refinement. The final results would only be announced the next afternoon. When Sima Yue ranked first again, everyone was not as surprised as they were the day before. This time, a few hundred names were directly eliminated. Only the top 100 could advance to the next round of the competition. In the third round, there were only 100 contestants left in the second group. Perhaps the later rounds were more exciting, so from the third round onwards, the two groups no longer competed together. Instead, the time was staggered by a day so that everyone could watch it every day. I didn't expect you to be so good at refining pills. But sometimes, even a blind cat meets a dead mouse, right? Gu Shiping passed by Yue's back. Sima Yue acted as if she didn't hear him and lowered her head to fiddle with her fingernails as nails. There was no need to care about this kind of person. Gu Shi's displeasure, Sima's Sima, SSS. The third round of the competition was to refine the required pills, but this time it was different from the first round. The pills were still considered common, but the refining process gradually became more difficult. There were 3 sets of herbs on each table, which meant that each person had 3 chances. If they used up all 3 chances, it would be equivalent to being eliminated directly. After Ji Qingyuan announced the start of the competition, the contestants picked up the pill recipe and started to study it. Some of them looked happy because they had seen this pill recipe before. They immediately started to refine it. Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi had expected this to happen. It was impossible that everyone had never seen this pill recipe before. In order to be fair, they made some changes to the recipe. They changed a few of the ingredients and the refining process was different. Pung dash, the sound of the furnace exploding shocked everyone. They all looked over. Seeing others fail, many of them laughed at their misfortune. Sima Yue only took one look and retracted her attention. She continued to study the pill recipe in her hand. She had seen this pill recipe before, but she noticed that there were a few changes in it. She didn't rush to refine it. She decided to study it carefully first. After an hour, many of the contestants started to refine their pills. Sima Yue also started to check her ingredients. Prung dash, another furnace exploded. Prung dash, prung dash. The sound of the furnaces exploding was heard one after another. The other contestants started to panic and became more careful. After Sima Yue checked her ingredients, she took a deep breath and started to refine them. Prung dash, prung dash. Sima Yue heard the sounds of furnaces exploding around her, but it didn't affect her. However, during the fusion process, she made a mistake in the timing of two of the ingredients. This caused the medicinal effects to clash. Like the others, her furnace also exploded. She was different from the others. She didn't throw away the dregs immediately. Instead, she took it out and studied it for a while. Then, she picked up the pill recipe and looked at it for a while. This time, her refining went quite smoothly. She took note of all the important points. When it came to the point where the furnace exploded, she was especially careful. Although there was a collision sound in the alchemy furnace, fortunately, there was no danger. The medicinal liquid inside bounced a few times and then quieted down. After the medicinal liquid was completely fused, the pill condensation was no longer a problem for her. Very quickly, a faint medicinal fragrance wafted out from the furnace, indicating that the pill condensation was successful. She kept the pill into a jade bottle. Immediately, someone came forward to tabulate the results. When they came down, they realized that she wasn't the first to complete the refinement. Not long after, someone else also succeeded. What surprised her was that Gu Shiping was also the first to complete his refinement. She thought that people like him who liked to provoke others were brainless. She didn't expect him to have some skills. The top 10 contestants would be selected for the final round. Sima Yue looked at the contestants and roughly predicted who would advance. On the second day, the second group rested and waited for yesterday's results. The first group continued their competition. Sima Yue moved from the contestants' resting area to the spectators' stand. Her position was different, so she could see from a different angle. A man sat next to her. Sima Yue glanced at him and said, "Why are you here? Aren't you afraid that someone will kill you?" Shi Qianji opened his fan and waved it, saying, "If I'm afraid, I'm not Shi Qianji." Blindly arrogant. Sima Yue said faintly, "That's him, right? Didn't he sneak into the Jiang family? Why did he come to participate in the competition like this? Weren't you the one who said that it's better to embarrass yourself in front of everyone than to lose on purpose?" Shi Qianji retorted. Sima Yue was stunned. She had said that before, but she said it to Han Miaoshuang and the others. Thinking about it carefully, it was probably because he saw the shape of her mouth and knew what she said, so he changed his mind. Chapter 1023. Shi Qianji looked at Sima Yue in surprise. He smiled and said, "You don't seem to know how important you all are to him." "Is that so?" She looked at the stranger that Jiang Junxian had turned into. The corner of her mouth twitched helplessly as she muttered, "His heart is actually very bitter," Shi Qianji said. "Although it's a little pretentious to say this, I've known him for over 100 years. I know the emotions in his eyes. Anger, hatred, indifference, sadness, I know them all." "Why does it sound so passionate?" Sima Yue shuddered. "Hee, I am a normal man. I am only interested in women," Shi Qianji said. Yes, the one you like is Shi Qiushuang, but she can only be considered a girl now, not a woman," Sima Yue said. "You even found out." Shi Qianji did not deny it. "It's a pity that she never had me in her heart before. You're talking about the past. It's different now. I can tell that she's very attached to you now," Sima Yue said. "But that's not the attachment between lovers. However, who cared if it was true or not? It's fine as long as she's by my side." Shi Qianji's smile was slightly bitter. That's a wise idea, Sima Yue said. Sometimes, when two people are together, they don't have to be so calculative. You speak as if you've experienced it before. Shi Qianji laughed. There are some things that you don't have to experience on your own. It's the same if you see more of them, Sima Yue said. Hee perhaps. Shi Qianji chuckled. It was unknown whether he agreed or disagreed with her statement. The two of them didn't speak after that, and watched the competition below. Other than Jiang Junxian, Han Miaoshuang and Su Xiaoxiao had also advanced. The other students of the academy had been eliminated in the previous round. When Jiang Junxian was free, he glanced at Kang Junchul. After today's competition ended, Kang Junchul would definitely not be able to advance to the top 10. What kind of expression would the Jiang family have when they found out that the person they had abandoned was the one with true talent? Sima Yue looked at Jiang Junxian's eyes and sighed in her heart. As time passed, many people finished refining. After the recorder recorded the results, they returned to the resting area. Han Miaoshuang and Su Xiaoxiao didn't complete it well. There were many people who completed it before them. However, their expressions were not bad. Unlike the others who were flustered and exasperated. Do you think Jun Xian can enter the top 10? Shi Qianji asked. I don't know if he can enter, but Kang Junchul definitely can't. Sima Yue said. In front of Jiang Junxian, there were more than a dozen people who finished before him. If their levels were higher than his, then he would not be able to enter. However, if there was someone whose level was lower than his, then he still had hope. That guy is all talk and no substance. I think it's already very difficult for him to enter the top 100. I dare to wager that he is absolutely in the bottom few, Shi Qianji said. I don't think there's a need to bet. Bang! Not long after Sima Yue finished speaking, Kang Junchul's furnace exploded. Since then his furnace exploded 3 times and he had no chance at all. His result was 0. However, because he entered this round, he was considered to be in the top 100. Look at the Jiang family, haha, their faces are all green. Shi Qianji pointed at the Jiang family and laughed, attracting everyone's attention. He was the first person who dared to laugh at others so openly. Can you be more low-key? Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. Why should I be low-key when it's something to be happy about? Shi Qianji retorted. He was never a low-key person. On the contrary, he was always high-profile. So many forces in the inner regions knew about him. However, when he saw Sima Yue rolling her eyes, he knew better than to laugh out loud. Before the competition ended, Shi Qianji left first. Sima Yue was glad that he left. Otherwise, people would really think that they were on the same side and blame it on her. When they returned to the inn, the results from yesterday were already out. Sima Yue entered the finals as the first place. Mao Sanquan smiled so widely that the wrinkles on his face bloomed. This was the first time the academy had held its head up high in recent years. In the past, people who had laughed at the academy for not being able to nurture top talents were so shocked that their jaws almost hit the ground. In the finals, Sima Yue was first, Gu Shiping was 7th. Out of the other 8, 3 were from the middle regions, and the rest were from the inner regions. From this, it could be seen that there was a huge difference between the inner regions and the outer regions. She also knew the 3 from the middle regions. One was Tuoba Yen from the Tuoba family, another was Tsonglang Qi from the Tsonglang family, and the last was Moyu from the Mo family of Xiliang. Tuoba Yen from the East Ridge, Tsonglang from the North Desert, Mo family of Xiliang, and Qin family of the South Desolation. The 4 great families had sent people, but the Qin family was slightly weaker and did not enter the top 10. When Sima Yue arrived at the resting area, the other 9 people were already there. When they saw her, they all stared at her. Sima Yue, are you from the Sima family? Shen Yixian, who was in 3rd place last time, said. Sima family? What Sima family? Sima Yue looked at her in confusion. You're not from the Sima family? Shen Yixian asked. I don't know what Sima family is. Sima Yue shook her head. Xian, she's not from the Sima family. This time, the Sima family sent Sima Yiyun and Sima Qiqi and the others. They were already eliminated in the last round. Gu Shiping said, I've never heard of the Sima family having a Sima Yue. Shen Yixian looked at Gu Shiping, then looked at Sima Yue saying, then where are you from? This was someone from the inner regions. Before this, they didn't even know the names and identities of others. If it wasn't for the fact that Sima Yue's grades were better than hers, she probably wouldn't condescend to talk to her. I'm a student from the heavenly sect, she said faintly. People from the outer regions? No one from the heavenly sect has entered the top 100 before. Song Mingzhu, who was sitting with Shen Yixian, said, it's not that no one has entered before. It's that you don't know that someone has entered. Sima Yue said, I heard that the heavenly sect was originally going to be eliminated by the pill subdivision, but because of what happened last time, you guys are safe again. However, using this method to stay isn't something to be proud of, right? Isn't that so? It's just an academy with a bit of power in the outer regions. They actually think that they're something. Sima Yue sneered in her heart. She didn't even know these people, but they kept slandering the academy. It seemed like these people weren't virtuous people. But from what I know, as long as I enter the top 100, the academy will be able to stay in the pill subdivision openly. Don't tell me that I'm not standing with you guys now. Speaking of which, my results in the first 3 rounds were slightly better than yours. I'm the only one who got full marks for the theory earlier, right? She retorted. Chapter 1024. You only got first place in the preliminaries. The results of this competition are not based on previous results. Song Mingzhu said, you're from a small place. You definitely don't know that your true strength will only be revealed at the end. You just need to be steady in the competition at the beginning. Just because you were first doesn't mean you will be first in the future. You're right, I think so too. Sima Yue nodded in agreement. After he finished speaking, he saw that Ji Qingyuan said that he could go on stage. He ignored these people and turned to go on stage. When Song Mingzhu saw this, she glared hatefully at her back and went up with Shen Yeshuan and the others. Ji Qingyuan waited for them to go on stage before saying, today will be the final round. The topic is very simple. You are free to refine medicinal pills. There is no time limit or type limit. Each person has 3 chances. The final result will be decided by your grades. The one with the highest grade wins. If their grades were the same, the one with the highest grade would win. If the grade was the same as the level, it would be ranked according to the time it was completed. This is your last match, so give it your all. With that, he left the arena. This round was similar to the second round, but this time, no one would hold back. Dong. Song Mingzhu took out a pill furnace. This pill furnace was quite heavy and made a dong sound. Sima Yue looked over. The cauldron was thick and heavy, and the patterns on the cauldron were exquisite. She could tell that the cauldron was not an ordinary one. This is the 100-flower cauldron, ranked 25th among the cauldrons. Song Mingzhu proudly lifted her chin at her. Sima Yue curled her lips as she looked at the fancy patterns on the cauldron. It was really dazzling. However, it was said that the pill furnace ranked 25th could increase the success rate of refining pills. How is it? You've never seen it before, right? Song Mingzhu took Sima Yue's disdain as a sign of ignorance. Not only me, everyone here has a cauldron on the list. Do you have one? Sima Yue blinked her eyes. Did she have a cauldron on the list? Soon after, Shen Yeshuan and the others also took out their own cauldrons. Some of them had already used them in the previous rounds, while some of them were taking it out for the first time. Just as Song Mingzhu had said, their cauldrons were all in the top 50. The best cauldron was Shen Yeshuan's 100-beast cauldron, which was ranked 15th. Everyone's cauldrons have been taken out. You should also take out yours to take a look. Song Mingzhu said, don't tell me it's still that tattered cauldron from before? Chi. Someone laughed out loud. They had seen Sima Yue use cauldron before. Although it wasn't tattered, compared to theirs, it was like the difference between clouds and mud. Sima Yue looked around. Were they really waiting to see her make a fool of herself? With a thought, she took out the cauldron from the alchemy room in her spirit pagoda. Dong! The heavy impact caused the ground to tremble. If the ground wasn't made of marble, a D would have been carved out of it. Auspicious dragon and phoenix. Shen Yeshuan shouted. Auspicious dragon and phoenix? The 10th ranked dragon and phoenix bringing prosperity? Xian Xian, are you mistaken? Song Mingzhu didn't believe it. It must be it. I've read about it in a book. Shen Yeshuan said. Didn't they say that the dragon and phoenix bringing prosperity had disappeared for many years? Our clan has been looking for it for many years. I never thought that it would be in her hands. Shen Yeshuan said. Not only her, the others were also shocked. They never thought that she would have such a cauldron. Sima Yue saw their shocked expressions and thought that it was lucky that she took this cauldron. If she took the other 2 cauldrons, they would be even more shocked. Although she didn't know the names of the other 2 cauldrons, their grades were higher than the dragon and phoenix cauldron. They were definitely ranked higher. These cauldrons were all collected by Little Spirit's previous owner. In the past, her strength was low and she couldn't control them well. That was why she used normal cauldrons in the beginning. After her strength increased, she started to use the dragon and phoenix cauldron. Although Shen Yeshuan and the others were shocked, they quickly regained their composure and started to prepare their own ingredients. They had to carefully think about what kind of pill to refine today. If the grade of the pill was too low, they would lose to others in terms of grade. If the grade of the pill was too high, they might not be able to succeed. Actually, everyone's strength was about the same. Being able to refine a 7th grade pill before the age of 100 was already very impressive. It was almost impossible for them to break through to the 8th grade. However, that didn't exclude the fact that there were monstrous geniuses. That was why they all chose 7th grade pills. Low grade, middle grade, high grade and top grade pills would depend on their strength. Sima Yue wasn't in a hurry to decide what pill to refine. She first looked at the other people's ingredients and judged what kind of pill they were going to refine based on their ingredients. When she saw Mou and Shen Yeshuan's ingredients, her eyes flashed. After thinking carefully, she took out her own ingredients. Those ingredients filled the table like a small mountain. Yu, why are you using so many ingredients? The others have much less than her. Little Seven often watched them refine pills and had some understanding of the process. She had more ingredients than the others. That meant that she would need a longer time to refine and fuse them together. There were more uncertainties and the chances of failure would be higher. That was why the others chose to refine pills with fewer ingredients. They wanted to be faster in terms of time. She always knows what she's doing. Let's continue watching. Han Miaoshuang looked at Sima Yue's ingredients and her heartbeat sped up abnormally. She couldn't be going to for pills of the same grade and level. The order of completion would affect the ranking. Everyone knew that everyone's strength was about the same. That was why the order of completion was very important to them. After making their preparations, everyone started to refine. Sima Yue was no exception. After checking the ingredients, she started to refine them. The refining stage wasn't a problem for everyone. It wasn't difficult to refine a few ingredients at the same time. After more than an hour, everyone finished refining. As they fused, the gap between them gradually widened. Those who were faster fused dozens more types of essences than those who were slower. Sima Yue carefully controlled the situation in the cauldron. That was why her speed was much slower than the others. When the others finished this stage, she still had a third of the way to completion. See, I told you that too many ingredients would affect the progress. Little Seven was a little impatient. She was worried for Sima Yue. Don't worry, little junior brother won't lose. Su Xiao said. When Sima Yue finished refining, someone's cauldron was already releasing the fragrance of pills. That meant that they had already succeeded in the initial stage of refining pills. As long as there were no accidents, that cauldron of pills was a success. Very quickly, that person shouted and opened the lid. He slapped the cauldron and 2 pills flew out. He grabbed them in his hand. Chapter 1025. Read 336. That person placed the pills on the jade plate on the table, and everyone could see his results. Advanced rank, 7. This result was already very good. As the first to complete it, He could already defeat all the people below rank 7 advanced in seconds. If there were no Tier 7 or Tier 8 pills, he would be the winner of this competition. Once this result came out, it immediately gave the others tremendous pressure. Everyone wanted to fight for first place, but with his results, it wasn't easy to surpass him. After all, not many of them were above the advanced level. 2 of them were mentally unstable. They couldn't withstand the pressure and couldn't keep up with their actions. Although they immediately reacted and tried to salvage the situation, it still affected them. In the end, their final level dropped by 1. However, there were also a few people who weren't affected. Shen Yeshuan, Mou, and Sima Yue didn't seem to see that person's results at all. They only cared about their pills. After that, a few more people completed the refinement. There were 3 rank 7 middle-level cultivators and 3 rank 7 advanced-level cultivators. Including the person just now, there were 7 people who had completed the refinement. Only Yue and the other 2 were left. They spent a lot more time than the others. Half an hour after the others finished, Mou finished refining. When the pills came out, everyone immediately realized that they were 2 top-grade 7th-grade pills, better than anyone before. If Sima Yu and Shen Yixian were only able to refine 7th-ranked pills, then she would be able to take first place in this competition. If they were both able to refine 8th-ranked pills, then she would be able to take 3rd place in this competition. But to refine a level 8 medicinal pill? No one believed that such a thing would happen, so everyone was certain that Mou would be the winner of this competition. The Shen family and the Song family sat together. Song Mingzhu had performed abnormally in this competition. Usually, she could refine 7th-grade pills, but this time she could only refine high-grade pills. Aya, your family's Mingzhu's mentality is too bad. How did she perform so abnormally? The leader of the Shen family, Elder Shenqing, spoke with regret, but the expression on his face was different. That smile of his made the eyes of the Song family hurt. I heard that you guys are aiming for first place this time. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. The leader of the Song clan, Song Jia, harumphed. Shen Yeshuan's grade is the same as Mingzhu's. She's only a top-grade 7th-grade pill. Now that Mo clan's girl has already concocted a top-grade 7th-grade pill, even if Shen Yeshuan performs normally and successfully concocts a pill, she won't be able to get first place. Haha, that's where you're wrong. Chen Qing chuckled and said, our family's young miss has already broken through the 7th grade not long ago and became an 8th grade alchemist. What? Song Jia cried out in surprise. She's only in her 80s, how could she be an 8th grade alchemist? Chen Qing's face was full of pride as he proudly said, my family's young miss is extremely intelligent, becoming an 8th grade alchemist is nothing strange. I didn't expect you to hide it so well. Song Jia coldly snorted. My family's young miss keeps a low profile. Even though she has become an 8th grade alchemist, she still doesn't want to show off. Unlike your family's Song Mingzhu, I'm afraid that when she broke through to become a pill master, she had already wantonly announced it. Shen Qing said. My family's young miss likes to share her joy with others. Song Jia said, but what I want to say is that Shen Yeshuan has just become an 8th grade alchemist not long ago. Her technique is still not proficient. Refining an 8th grade pill in this kind of competition is probably very difficult to succeed. My family's young miss is very strong. Chen Qing said with certainty. She will definitely get first place this time. Is that so? Song Jia laughed. Maybe it's someone else? This Sima Yue has always entered the finals in first place. Her? We've already investigated her. She's a student of the Heavenly Sect. Previously, she didn't have any outstanding results in alchemy. We don't know why she suddenly appeared this time. Chen Qing said. Not having outstanding results doesn't mean that she doesn't have any ability, it's just that she's low profile. Song Jia laughed and said, she's even more low profile than your family's young Mississippi. Even if that's the case, it's impossible for her to become an 8th grade alchemist. Chen Qing said. In fact, a 30-year-old 7th grade alchemist is already very shocking. That's true. Song Jia's interest that had just been aroused was once again extinguished. Becoming a 7th grade alchemist was already very heaven-defying. If she were to become an 8th grade alchemist, that would be too unimaginable. If she was like this, how would others live? Unfortunately, she still hoped that someone would be able to suppress Shen Yixian. Otherwise the Shen family's buttocks would be raised to the sky. While they were talking, there was movement from Shen Yixian's pill furnace. Waves of pill fragrance wafted out, making people feel relaxed and happy. Success! The Shen family members were the first to shout. Shen Yixian's heart was also filled with joy. This pill fragrance meant that she had already succeeded in the initial stage and had passed the most dangerous stage. As long as she did it properly, then there wouldn't be any problems. However, things didn't go as she had expected. The 8th grade alchemist had to be very careful in the later stages. Because she let her guard down a little, the pill was almost destroyed. Luckily, her mental fortitude was strong enough, and she managed to salvage it. However, the shape of the pill wasn't that good. Success! Everyone present shouted excitedly. Such a young 8th grade alchemist. This was a new record in the alchemy world. Shen Yixian's face revealed a smile. She retracted the flame, took out the pill and placed it on the jade plate. 8th grade alchemist, it's really an 8th grade alchemist. Seeing the successful pill, everyone became even more excited. She'll definitely be the champion in this competition. Definitely. No surprises. That Sima Yue is still refining. She's just wasting time. Sima Yue didn't pay attention to Shen Yixian after she had succeeded. Shen Yixian admired her calmness and looked at her approvingly. Then, she retreated to the side and stood with the others to watch Sima Yue's competition. Sima Yue focused all of her mental energy into the pill furnace. It was as if she was looking at the situation inside with her own eyes. If there was anything wrong, she would immediately remedy it. She felt that she didn't care about anything anymore. She couldn't see anything. Her eyes, heart, and brain were all focused on refining pills. This empty state was the same as when she was refining pills in the 9th star ocean. It was a little difficult to condense the pill, but the medicinal liquid still merged together and slowly condensed into a pill. She succeeded too, Song Mingzhu exclaimed. This medicinal fragrance. The others were also very surprised. They could all smell this fragrance. It was an 8th grade alchemist. She's actually also an 8th grade alchemist. The entire venue quietened down. Everyone wasn't as excited as before. They were so shocked that they couldn't speak. Even if she's refining an 8th grade alchemist and Xian succeeded earlier than her, she still won't be the champion. This book came from the website. Chapter 1026. Everyone could see that Sima Yue had concocted a grade 8 pill, but at the same time, no one thought that she would win. The fragrance was getting stronger and stronger, clearly telling everyone that she had succeeded in refining the pill. Why isn't it over yet? Song Mingzhu asked. By this time, Shen Yeshuan had already finished concocting the pill. However, she was still continuing. Could it be that she can refine even higher grade level 8 medicinal pills? I don't think so, Shen Yeshuan said. For her to be able to become an 8th grade alchemist is already a heaven-defying existence. It's impossible for her to be higher than me. Then why are you still refining? They should be finishing up. Look. Mou exclaimed when she saw the changes above her head. Everyone looked up and saw that dark clouds were beginning to gather in the clear sky. Pill tribulation. She actually triggered a pill tribulation. Shen Yeshuan cried out in disbelief. How can this be? It really is a pill tribulation. She actually triggered a pill tribulation. Everyone felt that it was inconceivable. However, as the tribulation clouds grew thicker and thicker, they had no choice but to believe what they were seeing. Sima Yue raised her head and looked at the tribulation clouds in the sky. She felt that it was about time. She put away the fire, opened the lid, and took out the refined pills. Pa! As soon as the pill appeared, the lightning tribulation immediately struck down. Sima Yue held on to the elixir. Because she had become the target of the lightning tribulation, she was struck along with the elixir. Shin Yeshuan and the rest had already escaped from the arena before the lightning tribulation struck. They didn't want to be accidentally injured. She actually directly withstood the lightning tribulation. She couldn't have been struck to death, right? Song Mingzhu patted her chest and said, I don't think so. Mou said, looking at her, it shouldn't be her first time seeing a pill tribulation. She didn't panic at all. She'll be fine. Humph, it's better if he's dead. Isn't that right, Xian? Gu Shiping snorted coldly. Shin Yeshuan only glanced at her and didn't say anything. Then, she continued to watch Sima Yoyue's tribulation. Every alchemist understood that even for pills of the same grade and grade, those who had experienced a pill tribulation were different from those who had not. She had lost this competition. However, she was interested in Sima Yoyue. How could there be such a monster in this world? After 3 bolts of tribulation lightning, the tribulation cloud reluctantly left. His wine was almost finished, and this guy didn't even send some over. However, as a friend, she didn't seem to want to reveal their relationship in such an occasion. It was better for her to leave in a low-key manner. To Sima Yoyue, the lightning tribulation was like a tickle. The purple lightning was protesting in the lightning pool. This amount was not even enough to be an appetizer. She placed the pills on a jade plate and looked down at Ji Qingyuan. Ji Qingyuan came up and called the other contestants up. Shin Yeshuan and the others returned to their seats. On the table were the pills that they had just concocted. Xia Changtian and Zhao Xiangqi brought the 4 alchemists up and inspected their results one by one, announcing their results in front of everyone. Song Mingzhu 7th rank advanced, 3rd to complete. Gu Shiping middle rank 7, 6th completed. Mou top grade 7th rank. Shin Yeshuan, low grade 8th rank. Xia Changtian and the others came in front of Sima Yoyue and picked up her pill to take a look. He smiled and said, Sima Yoyue low grade 8th rank, 2 pill veins. He raised the pill in his hand and let everyone see the pill veins on it. After that, he put the pill back and said to Sima Yoyue, good job. He then returned to the main stage. Sima Yoyue and the others packed up their things and returned to the resting area. The results of the competition would be announced today. They just had to wait a little longer. On the main stage, the Sage Pavilion's pavilion master looked at Sima Yoyue and twirled the thumb ring in his hand. You already knew, didn't you? Xiao Yun Xiao asked Wu Lingyu. No what? Wu Lingyu acted dumb and looked innocent. He's the person in the dark forest. Xiao Yun Xiao said. He's your junior brother. Don't you know that he was the one who did the dark forest? He didn't tell me. Wu Lingyu said. I've been in closed-door cultivation for the past few years and haven't paid much attention to the outside world. I didn't see what happened in the dark forest with my own eyes. You really didn't know? Xiao Yun Xiao stared at him, trying to find something strange on his face. I know now. Wu Lingyu said lightly. His eyes looked as if he really only knew now. Bring him to see me tonight. Xiao Yun Xiao said. Can you do that? Yes. Then I'll wait for you. Yes. Wu Lingyu looked at Sima Yoyue and saw the smile on her face. His lips curled into a faint smile. It seemed that some things had to be brought forward. Xia Changtian skimmed through the results that Ji Qingyuan passed to him. He then stood up and cleared his throat, saying, I'll now announce the results of this year's youth competition. First place Sima Yoyue. Second place Shen Yixian. Third place Mou. Fourth place. Now may the top 3 come to the podium to receive your prizes. Sima Yoyue and the other 2 came to the center of the competition grounds where a podium had been set up. After they stood up, Xia Changtian and 3 maids walked up with trays. He came in front of Mou and handed her the box, saying, Congratulations. Thank you, President. Mou smiled as she received the prize. Xia Changtian then came in front of Shen Yixian and congratulated her before handing her the prize. He then came in front of Sima Yoyue and handed her the item, saying, I knew that you wouldn't let me down. Congratulations. Sima Yoyue knew that the box contained the 10,000-year Methria fruit. This thing was of no use to her now. However, she might as well keep it since it might be useful in the future. She took the box and said, Thank you. After Xiaochang Tian gave the prizes to the three of them, he took a step back and said, "As the top three of this year's competition, I sincerely invite you to join the Alchemist Guild, so that we can discuss and improve together." Mou was very happy and immediately agreed. Shen Yixian considered for a moment and said, "Thank you, President, for your kind intentions, but the clan can't do without me." This was a tactful rejection. Xiaochang Tian didn't have much of a reaction to her rejection since he had already guessed that she wouldn't join. He looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue thought for a moment and said, "Thank you, President, for your invitation. However, Yue still has matters to attend to, so I'm afraid that I won't be able to stay in the guild." "Yue, don't you want to go further in the alchemy world?" Xiaochang Tian asked. "We have outstanding alchemists here that will be of great help to your future development." Sima Yue still shook her head and said, "President, I'm not trying to shirk my responsibilities. I really do have matters to attend to and can't stay in one place for long." Xiaochang Tian looked at her and made a decision in his heart. Chapter 1027. Read 336. 10 minutes later, Sima Yue held the token in her hand and looked helplessly at Xiaochang Tian's satisfied figure. Just when she had rejected the offer to join the Alchemist Guild, Xiaochang Tian had taken out a guest elder's token and insisted that she should become a guest elder of the Alchemist Guild. After she refused, he began to make all kinds of threats and promises, trying his best to act shamelessly. In the end, she really couldn't stand it anymore and had to accept it. "Congratulations." Shen Yeshuan turned around and congratulated him with a smile. "Thank you." Sima Yue looked at the sincere smile on her face and thought that although this person was arrogant, she still recognized those who were truly capable. "Congratulations, you're amazing." Mou also congratulated her from the side. The three of them left the arena together. The competition this time was full of twists and turns, and Sima Yu's reputation immediately rose. Some people from the inner circle thought that Sima Yue was a member of the Sima family. However, when they saw that the Sima family didn't even pay any attention to her and directly left the city, they dismissed this thought. If she was really a member of the Sima family, who would give up on such a talented youth? The next day was the final round of the first group. Since no one from the academy had made it to the finals, everyone was very relaxed and celebrated in the inn. That night, everyone didn't take any antidote for hangover. They were all dead drunk, lying around the room, lying on the table, or hugging a stool before falling asleep. This was what Wu Lingyu saw when she arrived. Sima Yue was a good drinker. She only felt a little dizzy after the others collapsed. When she saw Wu Lingyu, she smiled and asked, "Senior brother, why are you here?" "I'm here to see you." Wu Lingyu walked over, took her hand, and led her out of the inn. Little Seven was drunk and in a daze. When she saw Sima Yu leave, she followed them to the backyard. "Yu, where are we going?" Little Seven rubbed her eyes and asked in a daze. Sima Yue did not expect Little Seven to follow her. She smiled helplessly when she saw Little Seven's dazed face and her half-closed eyes. She had followed him out unconsciously. "Go to the spirit pagoda and sleep for a while." With a wave of her hand, Little Seven went into the spirit pagoda. "This little guy is inseparable from you now." Wu Lingyu was a little jealous. Little Seven was trapped for a long time in the past. After she evolved with me, she evolved in the spirit pagoda, so she is more dependent on me. Although she has lived for thousands of years, her mental age is like that of a child. Sima Yue said. "I know." But he still felt uncomfortable in his heart. "Master." The fat shopkeeper bowed to Wu Lingyu. "You may leave." Wu Lingyu nodded and brought Sima Yue into the house. He waved his hand and the door closed. Then he pulled Sima Yue to sit on a chair. Sima Yue sat on his lap and asked, "Does this inn belong to you?" "You can say so," Wu Lingyu said. "So you were lying when you said there were no more rooms?" Sima Yue stared at him. "No," Wu Lingyu denied. "There are no more rooms." "Humph, do you think I believe you?" Sima Yue snorted. "You can ask the shopkeeper if you don't believe me," Wu Lingyu said. He is your man. He will definitely listen to you, Sima Yue said. If you say there are no more rooms, will he dare to say there are? Wu Lingyu smiled but did not say anything. Where did you go before? You didn't come when such a big thing happened. Sima Yue did not dwell on that issue. Anyway, this guy was lying so that he could stay with her. Something happened at the general pavilion, and we were called over, Wu Lingyu said. You can get hurt at the general pavilion? With your strength, is there anyone who can hurt you? Sima Yue thought of something and stood up from his lap, saying, Is it because your soul and body did not fuse well? Wu Lingyu saw that she was so nervous and pulled her back, saying, No, it's just that the situation was a little complicated and I couldn't let anyone know about it. That's why I got a little hurt. Your soul and body did not fuse well. There will be repercussions. You have to be careful when you are outside, Sima Yue said worriedly. I know. You don't have to worry about me, Wu Lingyu said. Okay. The two of them cuddled for a while. Seeing that it was getting late, Wu Lingyu said, I'll bring you to do something big tonight. What is it? Kill someone. Pfft. Sima Yue stared at him saying, Kill someone? Who do you want to kill? Are those old guys in your spirit pagoda still there? Wu Lingyu asked. Sima Yue nodded. Let them help later, Wu Lingyu said. You really want to kill someone? Sima Yue blinked. Was this guy joking? Of course, Wu Lingyu said. Although it's brought forward, it's not completely bad. You want to kill Xiao Xiao? Sima Yue asked in surprise. Smart. Wu Lingyu kissed her face saying, How about it? Do you dare? Why wouldn't I dare? Sima Yue said. But if I go, I might be a burden. You just have to watch from the side, Wu Lingyu said. If the situation doesn't seem right, call those people out from the spirit pagoda. Huh. What's going on? Sima Yue was a little confused. He seemed to be very confident, but he mentioned calling those people out from the spirit pagoda. This meant that he wasn't confident. He wants to see you, Wu Lingyu said. You went through the pill tribulation today. He recognized you as the person who attracted the lightning tribulation in the dark forest. He asked me to bring you over tonight. He wants to see me? He wants to kill me? Sima Yue asked. No matter what his motive is, I won't agree to it. Wu Lingyu said, I wanted to let him live for 2 more years, but now it's brought forward. Oh. I told him that you just became the guest elder of the Alchemist Guild. It's not good to meet you in the city, so we arranged to meet outside the city. Wu Lingyu said, If nothing unexpected happens, he'll go by himself. This way, I'll be more than enough to deal with him. But if he brings people over, I'll need the help of those old guys if I want to deal with them all. No matter what, we can't let people know that we killed him. Otherwise, we'll attract some unnecessary trouble. Sima Yue opened her mouth slightly. You made this decision at the last minute? Yes. That old guy is cunning. If I don't bring you to see him, he'll definitely find something strange. If I bring you over, he'll definitely try to recruit you. If he doesn't succeed, he'll kill you. Since that's the case, why don't we take the initiative and prevent him from bringing you trouble? Let's go, I'll bring you to see him. Wu Lingyu pulled her up and flew her out of the city. This book came from the Book in Book #web. Chapter 1028. The two of them went outside and descended from the clouds, arriving at a villa below. Your Highness Holy Son, the hall master is waiting for you inside. The guard said when he saw Wu Lingyu bringing Sima Yue in. Wu Lingyu walked in front and Sima Yue followed behind, entering a room in the backyard. Xiao Xiao sat on a cushion, his face full of wrinkles, looking much older than he did in the day. In the day he looked like a middle-aged man, but at night he looked like an old man. This kind of change was really surprising. She raised her head and looked at Wu Lingyu, wanting to know what was going on. I'll tell you later. Wu Lingyu gave her a look. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu stood at the door for a while before Xiao Xiao opened his eyes. Hallmaster, I've brought them here. Wu Lingyu said. Greetings, Hallmaster. Sima Yue nodded at Xiao Yunxiao. You're Ling Yu's junior brother, so I won't beat around the bush. Are you willing to join the Sage Pavilion? Xiao Yunxiao asked. Sima Yue did not expect him to be so direct, so she declined. Thank you, Hallmaster, for your favor. Yue has a heavy responsibility, so I'm afraid I can't join the Sage Pavilion. You're the one who did what in the dark forest, right? Xiao Yunxiao said confidently. You killed my people. If you join us, we'll let this matter go. If you're not willing, then we can't keep you. You have to think carefully. Hallmaster, are you threatening me? Sima Yue asked coldly. No, I'm not threatening you. I'm just stating a fact. Xiao Yunxiao said. This is because your senior brother is the holy son of the Sage Pavilion. If it was anyone else, I'm afraid you'd be a corpse by now. What if I say no? Sima Yue said. Ling Yu, you should persuade your junior brother. Xiao Yunxiao said. I'll give you one night. If you're still like this, no need, I won't join you. Sima Yue said. My master said before that the Sage Pavilion isn't a good place. He's already unhappy that one of my senior brothers went there. If I were to join them, he would be angered to death and I would be in big trouble. So you'd rather die than join us? Xiao Yunxiao's expression turned ugly. Yes. Then I'll fulfill your wish. Ling Yu. Wu Lingyu looked at Xiao Yunxiao, and then looked at Sima Yue. He raised his right hand slightly and pure white spiritual energy slowly condensed in his hand. Sima Yue did not show any signs of fear. Wu Lingyu did not move after condensing his spiritual energy, as if he was hesitating. Lingyu, do it. Xiao Yunxiao shouted, thinking that Wu Lingyu wouldn't make a move. Wu Lingyu lowered his head and looked at the spiritual energy in his hand. He slowly raised his hand and suddenly attacked Xiao Yunxiao. Xiao Yunxiao did not think that Wu Lingyu would attack him. It happened so suddenly that his defense was a little late, and he was hit by the remaining energy. Lingyu. The shock on his face was so obvious that he had never thought of this situation. I won't kill her, Wu Lingyu said. You dare to go against my will, Xiao Yunxiao said coldly. Wu Lingyu set up a spirit barrier and surrounded the entire manor. The people inside could not leave. Xiao Yunxiao saw that he had set up a spirit barrier, and knew that he was serious. He did not plan to let anyone here go. He knew that Wu Lingyu's spirit barrier was very powerful, but he did not think that it was that serious. Because in his mind, Wu Lingyu was not that powerful. His betrayal was just an impulsive act. You want to betray me? He flew into the air and stared at Wu Lingyu. Do you know the consequences of doing this? What consequences can there be? Wu Lingyu said. You should regret that you didn't bring more people with you. As he said that, he flew up and attacked Xiao Yunxiao. I nurtured you for so many years, and this is how you repay me? Xiao Yunqing was furious. Nurture? You nurtured me for so many years. Wasn't it to cultivate a good body for yourself? Wu Lingyu said, the more powerful I am, the more powerful you will be in the future. You really wanted to nurture me. That's why you gave me so many resources and treated me so well. Do you think you can believe that? What nonsense are you talking about? Xiao Yunxiao said coldly. Of course I did so much for you. Is that so? Wu Lingyu sneered. Then what about the pill you gave me? Last time you used the excuse of checking my body to attack my soul. What about that? If I had eaten the pills you gave me all these years, you would have succeeded that day, right? Sima Yue was shocked. Xiao Yunxiao had already done something to him? You know all about it. This time it was Xiao Yunxiao's turn to be shocked. He always thought that he was very secretive and no one would know about it. Your lifespan is coming to an end, but you can't break through. So you wanted to find someone to nurture for you to use in the future. When you heard that my soul was incomplete, you felt that your chance had come. So you personally went to the Divine Devil Valley to take me away. You gave me the best resources for so many years, allowing me to continuously improve my strength. You did so much, wasn't it, so that you could become stronger after you took over my body? It was rare for Wu Lingyu to say so much. Seeing that he had nurtured him objectively, he was willing to let him know the reason behind his death. When did you know? Xiao Yunxiao asked. I knew from the start, Wu Lingyu said. But since you gave me such good conditions, I naturally had to work harder. So you didn't eat the pill I gave you from the start? Xiao Yunxiao said. So when I entered your body the last time, your soul attacked me. That's right, Wu Lingyu said. But there's another reason that you can't think of. What reason? That is, my soul has already been found and fused successfully. I have a complete soul now. You can't have any ideas about my body anymore. Wu Lingyu condensed black spirit energy on his left hand and white spirit energy on his right hand as he smiled evilly. What? How is that possible? Xiao Yunxiao couldn't believe it. The world was so big. How small was the probability of an incomplete soul meeting the other half of his soul? But seeing the black spirit energy on his hand, he couldn't help but believe it. Because the previous Wu Lingyu didn't have this at all. Wu Lingyu's thoughts moved. The two spirit energies turned into a black dragon and a white qilin. The two transformed spirit beasts attacked Xiao Yunxiao at the same time. Xiao Yunxiao's strength wasn't low. If not, he wouldn't have been able to become the pavilion master of the Sage Pavilion. He quickly used his spirit techniques to fight against Wu Lingyu's transformed spirit beasts. Sima Yue looked at the spirit beasts running around the house. She realized that among the two spirit beasts that Wu Lingyu had, the white qilin was slightly weaker while the black dragon was much stronger. It was just the power of the soul, but it had such strength. How strong was Mo Sha when he was alive? Chapter 1029. Xiao Yunxiao scattered the white qilin, but was hit by the black dragon's tail, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. He wiped the blood off and ran out of the house. Wu Lingyu quickly chased after him. Sima Yue followed him out. The two of them had already fought from the ground to the sky. Because of the enchantment, they were not very high up in the sky. Sima Yue quickly used a spatial seal to seal the surrounding space. She could not participate in a battle of their strength. She sealed the space to prevent herself from being implicated. She saw the ruthlessness on Wu Lingyu's face. This was something that Wu Lingyu's soul did not have. Only Mo Sha would be so bloodthirsty. That's right, that aura was like that of the Dark Emperor. It was definitely not something that Wu Lingyu had. Xiao Yunxiao also noticed the difference. After being defeated by Wu Lingyu, he held his bleeding chest and said, "You're not Lingyu. Who are you?" "The person who will take your life," Wu Lingyu said. "You can't kill me." Xiao Yunxiao was shocked by Wu Lingyu's aura. "Have you forgotten? If you kill me, the entire Sage Pavilion will know that you killed me. You will be hunted down by the entire Sage Pavilion." Wu Lingyu's hands paused. He remembered that every pavilion master had a mark on them. If they were killed, the mark would broadcast the scene of their death. This way, everyone would know who killed them. Xiao Yunxiao saw that Wu Lingyu had stopped and knew that he was afraid of this. He said, "Lingyu, you are my favorite disciple. I spent so much effort to nurture you. I have long treated you like a family member. If you let me go today, I can pretend that nothing happened tonight. Otherwise, if you kill me, you will become the Sage Pavilion's public enemy." "You're right. I can't kill you," Wu Lingyu said. Xiao Yunxiao's heart relaxed. He felt that his life was saved. But before he could rejoice, a huge mouth appeared behind him. With a suck, he was swallowed by the mouth. Ah! Xiao Yunxiao was sucked into his mouth without any resistance. He only let out a scream before he disappeared. As soon as the mouth closed, the space immediately returned to normal. It was impossible to tell that a bloody mouth had appeared here. Sima Yue stared at Wu Lingyu, dumbfounded. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Ah! A blood-curdling scream came from another part of the manor. Soon after, blood-curdling screams came from other places as well, accompanied by the sound of blood spurting out. "Senior brother." She could feel a dense dark aura. The aura was so dense that it seemed to envelop the entire villa. Wu Lingyu flew down. He hadn't completely retracted his aura yet, giving people a sense of endless pressure. Sima Yue undid the spatial seal and looked at him, saying, "What was that just now?" Although Wu Lingyu had just experienced a great disaster, There was not a single drop of blood on his body, and his clothes were not wrinkled. You scared me. Wu Lingyu reached out and patted his face. Her voice was harsher than usual, but it was still gentle. It's a little too sudden. Sima Yue said. What were those things? They were my spirit beasts in the past. Wu Lingyu said. Your spirit beasts? How can they still be alive? Sima Yue cried out. Secret technique. Wu Lingyu said. Spirit beasts that have lived for so many years. That kind of power. Sima Yue said in disbelief. The devil world has such powerful spirit beasts. What if they want to do to the human world? Great disaster in the human world. Wu Lingyu's aura slowly calmed down, saying, since the devil world has such creatures, the human world can do it too. The ghost world can too. This world is balanced. There won't be any world that is the strongest. Sima Yue pursed her lips. How many realms was there in this world that she didn't know about? Didn't you say that you wanted the elders to help? Why did you use the devil world's spirit beasts in the end? She asked in confusion. I forgot that he had the Sage Pavilion's imprint. Wu Lingyu said. How could you forget such a big thing? Sima Yue couldn't believe it and stared at his eyes. Wu Lingyu couldn't hide from her stare and said helplessly, recently, I've been feeling dizzy and forgetting some things. But I'll be fine after a while. Sima Yue grabbed his hand. When did this happen? A while ago. Not too long ago. Wu Lingyu said. Have you fainted? Yes. Wu Lingyu wanted to lie to her once, but seeing her concerned look, he changed his mind. Once? You've already fainted. When did this happen? A few days ago. Wu Lingyu said. But it's only been a day. Don't worry. A day and you're not worried. Sima Yue said coldly. Why didn't you tell me? It's not that I didn't have time. Wu Lingyu said. Alright, we'll talk about this later. Let's talk about this first. Sima Yue knew that this was his way of diverting her attention, but the situation was more serious now. They had to deal with this first. With such a dense demonic aura, I think those people will be here soon. We have to leave this place first. Sima Yue said. Wu Lingyu removed the barrier and the two of them quickly left the place. After flying into the air, Sima Yue looked down and saw a lot of blood and broken limbs. After they left, the people of Cloud Sea City rushed over. The dense demonic aura shocked them. What's going on? Such dense demonic aura. There must have been a demonic expert here just now. Go find out what happened here. Yes, Alliance leader. Some of the powers from the inner regions also came. The demonic aura here made them unable to stay calm. They ordered. Quickly inform the clan, something big happened here. Go see if there's anything left here. Elder, there are only a few broken limbs here. There's no complete corpse. Have you found out who they are? Xiachang Tian asked. This is the manor of the Sage Pavilion. Where's Xiaoyan Xiao? He's not in the city. The city guard said. The city guard said that he left the city at night. He should be here. But there's no sign of him. Xiachang Tian said. Where's Wu Lingyu? He's not here either. I heard that he left the city not long ago. The guest elder is with him too. Yue left the city too. Xiachang Tian shouted. It was impossible for them not to know that such a big thing had happened to the Sage Pavilion. If they didn't appear here, it could only mean one thing. Something had happened to them. Heavens, what happened? Just as everyone was worried, Wu Lingyu's voice sounded. Everyone looked over and saw him and Sima Yue flying over from afar. This book came from book#web/. Chapter 1030. Seeing Sima Yue walking over, Xiachang Tian and Zhao Xiangqi heaved a sigh of relief. Why are you guys here? Xiachang Tian asked. I got first place, so senior brother came to celebrate with me. When he heard about what had happened outside the city, he said that he wanted to go and take a look to see if he could find anything. We had to meet Pavilion Master Xiao outside the city this morning, so we went there last night, Sima Yue explained. Luckily you guys didn't come late at night. Xiachang Tian said. What's going on here? Why is there such a strong devil qi? Sima Yue asked in surprise. We haven't found out the reason yet, but it's definitely not a small matter. Gao Jihong said. Where's the pavilion master? Wu Lingyu asked anxiously. He arrived here last night. We didn't find him. Xiachong Tian said. We found some broken corpses, but he wasn't among them. I'll go and contact the pavilion, Wu Lingyu said as he walked to the side. Soon, the space tunnel opened, and a group of people came out. What surprised Sima Yue was that Nailanlan was also among them. Nailanlan was also surprised when she saw Sima Yue. Then she looked away coldly as if she didn't know her at all. When Sima Yue saw her, she could not help but recall the time when she was struck by lightning and had to escape. Her lips curled into a faint smile. Your Highness Holy Son. The people from the Sage Pavilion bowed to Wu Lingyu. Now that Xiao Yunxiao was no longer around, he was the one with the most authority. Left emissary, have you brought the item? Wu Lingyu asked. Here it is. Ning Tai took out the box and handed it to Wu Lingyu with both hands. Wu Lingyu opened the box. Inside was a broken life card. Holy Son, please, Ning Tai said. Wu Lingyu nodded and condensed a ball of white spirit energy. The ball of spirit energy wrapped around the life tablet, and the life tablet immediately emitted a white light. The scene of Xiao Yunxiao's death appeared in front of everyone's eyes. At the same time, the Sage Pavilion's main pavilion in the inner regions, as well as the other pavilions, had the same scene. What is this? Ning Tai cried out. How could this be? They originally thought that there would be a ferocious beast that killed the pavilion master, but all they saw was darkness. There was nothing. It was as if he had been killed in a dark space. It looks like it's inside some spirit beast's body. Zhao Xiangqi said. It should be some kind of magical beast. Xia Chongtian said. Maybe it's an almighty from the devil realm. The other people in the Sage Pavilion also noticed that there were still remnants of the devil clan's aura. Why would a demon realm expert suddenly appear here? Wu Lingyu asked. I'm not sure yet. We can only continue to investigate. Xia Chongtian said. Jihong, you guys continue to investigate here. Let's finish the final round of the competition first. Today was the last match of the first group. Everyone was already waiting in the arena. In order not to cause too much panic, they had to continue the match. Xia Chongtian and Zhao Xiangqi left the villa and returned to Cloud Sea City. The others stayed behind to continue looking for clues. In order to accompany Wu Lingyu, Sima Yue also stayed behind. I really didn't think that you would still be alive. Nailanlan came to Sima Yue's side and said faintly. I really didn't think that you would still be alive. Sima Yue replied. I heard that you won first place in the alchemy competition. That's really surprising. Nailanlan said. Looking at you now, it's really hard to link you with the trash from before. Looking at you now pretending to be pure and holy, it's also hard to link you with the vicious and merciless person you used to be, Sima Yue said. But speaking of which, you used to like to pretend to be a white lotus in front of others. You're still as annoying as before, Nailanlan said. You too, Sima Yue replied. Nailanlan looked at Sima Yue. After not seeing her for so many years, this girl had become even more eloquent. Don't look at me like that. Don't think that I'll forget how you worked with others to kill me in the Yilin continent. Sima Yue stared back at her. Nailanlan laughed, saying, so? Do you think that you can kill me now? Do you think that I can't? Sima Yue laughed evilly. Do you think that with the protection of the Sage Pavilion, you can sit back and relax? Ehe, you're wrong. I've never worried. Nailanlan said. Only I can kill you. You can't kill me. Sima Yue played with the illusion ring in her hand. She wondered if she should kill her here, and use her actions to slap her face. Lan'er, come here. Ning Tai called Nailanlan from the side. Ning Tai's voice suppressed Sima Yue's impulse. If she killed Nailanlan here, she would be harassed by the Sage Pavilion. She didn't have the time to go against them now. Yes, left emissary Ning. Nailanlan replied, then said to Sima Yue. I can see the murderous intent in your eyes. But let's wait and see. We'll see who's the one who kills who. After speaking, She didn't wait for Sima Yue to reply, and went to Ning Tai. Loner, you know that guy? I used to know him. Is that so? Come here, I have something to tell you. Okay. Sima Yue watched Nalanlon leave and muttered, Alright, let's wait and see. The people from the guild and the Pill subdivision searched the mountain villa for an entire day, but didn't find anything. The people from the Sage Pavilion didn't find anything either. Everyone worked for nothing. That night, people from the sect and Divine Devil Valley came to look for her. Go back with them first. We still need to settle things here for a few days. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue looked at the anxious group and knew that things here wouldn't be easy to settle. It wasn't good for an outsider like her to be here. She nodded and went out of the villa. Han Miaoshuang, Su Xiaoxiao and Ying Baichuan were waiting for her outside. Senior brother, senior sister, senior brothering, why are you here? Sima Yue went forward and asked. Han Miaoshuang and the others saw her coming out and sized her up. Junior brother, are you okay? I'm fine. I wasn't here when it happened. Sima Yue said. What's going on here? Why did the Devil Clan suddenly appear? Ying Baichuan asked. Sima Yue looked around and said, Let's talk when we get back. It was so chaotic here. Some things weren't suitable to be said here. Han Miaoshuang and the others understood. Ying Baichuan said, You've been out for so long. Master heard the news and was worried about you, so he asked us to bring you back. Instructor Mao too. When he heard the news that something happened outside, and you were outside, the air pressure almost froze us to death. Han Miaoshuang said. Then let's go back. Chapter 1031. After getting on the flying beast, Han Miaoshuang couldn't wait to ask. Little junior brother, what happened there? Sima Yue looked at her curious expression and said, Why are you so curious? I heard that the Almighty from the Devil Realm came. Han Miaoshuang said. Did something happen to the Sage Pavilion? Ying Baichuan asked. Yeah, it said that Xiao Yunxiao was eaten by a powerful being from the Devil Realm. Sima Yue said. Did someone see it? Su Xiaoxiao asked. Sima Yue shook her head and nodded. What does this mean? Han Miaoshuang imitated her and shook her head and nodded. No one saw it at that time, but we all saw the last thing he saw before he died. Sima Yue said. Sage Pavilion's secret technique? Ying Baichuan asked. Yes. Sima Yue said. Senior brother Wu used a secret technique to let us see the last scene of him before he died. It should be inside the body of the great demon. It's really the Devil Clan. Han Miaoshuang blinked twice. She couldn't believe it, but there was a trace of excitement on her face. Sima Yue looked at her helplessly and said, Why are you so excited? Aren't you afraid of being killed by the Almighty of the Devil Realm? Almighty? Why would an Almighty care about small fries like us? Han Miaoshuang said. I've never seen an Almighty from the Devil Realm in my life. If I can compare the differences between them and us. If you really did, you wouldn't be so calm. Sima Yue said. Did anything interesting happen in today's pill competition? There is. Han Miaoshuang said. I wanted to tell you a long time ago, but I forgot about the Almighty from the Devil Realm. What happened? Sima Yue asked. Jiang Junxian, that guy. What happened to eldest senior brother? When the competition started today, the Jiang family found out that his name was on the name list, so they made a scene. In the end, that guy changed back to his original appearance in front of everyone, and even scolded the Jiang family. The Jiang family originally wanted to take him away, but Shi Qianji brought people out, and the Jiang family members were beaten up. Han Miaoshuang said. After that guy got the 5th place in the alchemy competition. The Jiang family was so angry that they almost vomited blood because Kong Junchul didn't even enter the top 10. That's why this is the best way to slap his face, Sima Yue said. Isn't it? You didn't see it. When the Jiang family saw his final results, their faces were full of regret and unwillingness. Their expressions were so funny. Han Miaoshuang said with a smile. I think they went to look for him. They probably want him to return to the family, said Su Xiao. Then they will be disappointed. Sima Yue smiled. Isn't that so? Han Miaoshuang said. You abandoned him like that back then, and now you want him to go back just like that. With that guy's temper, it would be merciful if he didn't exterminate the Jiang family. Agreed. Su Xiao said. That Jiang Junxian is really strong. Ying Baichuan also saw the farce in the day and said, it's normal for the Jiang family to feel regret. Unfortunately, there's no medicine for regret in this world. Sima Yue said. Have you talked to him? With who? Jiang Junxian? Why do we have to talk to him? Han Miaoshuang scoffed. Master's life jade is still with him. Sima Yue said. We have to know if Master is still well. If something happened to Master, he will tell us. Su Xiao said. After we go back, let's talk to him. Sima Yue said. We have to ask him personally to be at ease. She also wanted to ask how the Sky Splitter Devil Sword was doing. They returned to Cloud Sea City and went to the inn. Other than Mao Sanquan, Liang Wu Ming was waiting there too. Senior Uncle, Instructor Mao. Sima Yue walked in front of them like a child who did something wrong. Are you okay? Liang Wu Ming looked at her worriedly. I'm fine, Sima Yue said. We weren't there when it happened. But you were outside the city. Mao Sanquan said. How could you go outside the city alone? I didn't go alone. I went with senior brother. Sima Yue said softly. No matter what, it's good that she's back now. Liang Wu Ming said. You go and rest first. Mao Sanquan said. Before the situation outside stabilizes, all of you stay here. No one is allowed to go out. Do you understand? After he finished speaking, he even glared at Sima Yue. It was as if he said that just for her. Instructor Mao, the situation outside is still unclear. But we can confirm that there's an almighty from the devil realm. Wouldn't it be too dangerous for you to go out? Su Xiaoxiao said worriedly. We still have to investigate. Mao Sanquan said. If we weren't waiting for you, we would have already gathered at the guild and other forces. It's fine if we aren't clear about the devil realm. But since we've met here, we have no reason to retreat. Mao Sanquan said. Then you guys be careful. Sima Yue knew that the Almighty was just something created by Wu Lingyu. There wasn't any danger, so she wasn't worried about them going out. Han Miaoshuang and Su Xiaoxiao heard her say that, and knew that there shouldn't be any danger outside. They weren't worried either. Ying Baichuan left with Liang Wu Ming. Sima Yue and Han Miaoshuang returned to their own houses. Sima Yue came to the house, set up a spirit barrier, and entered the spirit pagoda. You didn't even ask me to go out for such a fun thing. Little Seven started complaining when she saw her. That's right. I haven't gone out for a long time. Little Roar flew over and pounced into Sima Yue's arms. There were many people in the central region who saw you. If someone recognized you, it would be troublesome. Sima Yue said. Sigh, I'll go find Crimson Flame and learn how to disguise myself. I'll change my appearance when I go out. This way no one will be able to recognize me. Little Roar said helplessly. If you really learn it, I'll bring you out to play. Sima Yue said. Okay. Little Roar's figure flashed and disappeared. Why did you come in? Little Seven asked. I came to check some information. Sima Yue thought, and she and Little Seven went to the library. What information are you checking? Little Seven looked at the endless bookshelves and asked curiously. Senior brother said that he had already fainted once. Although he was only unconscious for a day, I feel that the situation is very serious. I have to do some research and see if there are any records of this situation in the ancient books. Sima Yue said. There are so many books. How long will it take you to find them? Little Seven casually took a book and flipped through it. Take your time. We'll find them eventually. Sima Yue said. I have to find them too. Chapter 1032. Sima Yue stayed in the Spirit Pagoda for more than a month. She asked all the people and spirit beasts in the spirit pagoda to search together. Finally, they found a book about spirit fusion. You guys keep looking. I'll see if this book has the content I'm looking for. Sima Yue sat on the ground with the book and started reading. The book was very thin. Sima Yue read it carefully and finished it in less than half a day. There were some conditions for soul fusion, but for the current situation, it was useless. Very quickly, in the same area, Little Seven and the rest found a few more books about soul fusion. Sima Yue read them one by one and finally found a book with a similar situation. In the book, there was a person whose situation was similar to Wu Lingyu's. There was a mistake during the soul fusion, which resulted in the soul and body not fusing completely. Periodically, his memory would be confused, his strength would weaken, and he would fall into a deep sleep. Then he would return to normal, weaken again, and repeat until the soul and body fused completely. The last page of the book said that the only way to solve this situation was to fuse the soul and the body as soon as possible. However, there was no record of how to make the soul fuse as quickly as possible. After that, they didn't find any useful books. Fortunately, the book mentioned that there was no need to worry about such a situation. It was only a matter of time before the soul and body merged. After flipping through all the books in the area, Sima Yue gave up on searching. This situation was as unbelievable as her soul transmigrating. It was already difficult to find a few books. If there wasn't even this area, then there was probably nothing left. You don't have to worry. Didn't the book say that his situation isn't too serious? As long as his soul and body fuse, everything will be fine. Little Seven comforted. I know. I'm just thinking, what if his strength decreases when he's in danger? Sima Yue said worriedly. However, she felt that her worries were unnecessary when she thought of the powerful being from the devil realm who was following him. Even if there was a dangerous situation, that magical beast would not let anything happen to him. She brought Little Seven outside, and it had only been 7 or 8 days since the appearance of the demons. All the forces were still searching outside. They wanted to find some clues, but they were destined to return empty-handed. How could they find such a powerful magical beast just because they wanted to? Everyone was also puzzled. The supreme being from the devil world seemed to have suddenly appeared and disappeared. No one else had been eaten by him. It seemed to have only appeared to kill Xiao Yinxiao. After continuously investigating for half a month, there were no clues at all. Everyone could only call it a day and return to the city. The alchemy competition had already ended, and some forces returned home one after another. As those people left, the news of Sima Yue's elixir competition spread throughout the entire continent. Many people admired her from the bottom of their hearts after hearing her story. On this day, when she was cultivating, she found that the power of faith in her body was constantly increasing, and the speed was very fast. She was so scared that she quickly withdrew from her cultivation state. Shit. The power is getting stronger and stronger. Sima Yue was both anxious and frustrated. It was a heaven-defying power, but she could not use it. She had to think of a way to suppress it. It's really... She sighed and began to absorb the dark energy in the air to achieve balance in her body. After Mao San Quan was done with the guild's matters, the heavenly sect was also about to return home. Sima Yue went to meet Liang Wuming, and the Divine Devil Valley was also about to leave Cloud Sea City. Junior Valley Master. When the people from the Divine Devil Valley saw her, they bowed respectfully. Some of them had never seen Sima Yue before, and had some reservations towards her who came from the lower realm. They felt that she was not worthy to be their Junior Valley Master. This alchemy competition had really made them look at her in a new light. Where's Martial Uncle? Sima Yue asked. He's inside talking to the Dragon King. Foster father is here too? Sima Yue was a little surprised. Yes. Sima Yue went to the living room and saw Yang Wuming, Wu Lamai and Shui Qingman chatting happily. Foster father, foster mother, Martial Uncle. Yue is here. Shui Qingman went forward and pulled her hand, pulling her to sit beside her. Foster mother, have you been happy recently? Sima Yue smiled and asked. It's quite fun. Shui Qingman said. We were just talking about going to the Divine Devil Valley to play for a few days. Can I go? Foster mother's body is much better now, and the fetus is developing very well too. You don't have to inject spiritual energy daily for maintenance. You can go and play if you want to, Sima Yue said. Really? King, did you hear that? You said that I can go and play. Shui Qingman happily raised her chin at Wu Lamai. Since you want to go, then go. Wu Lamai had no immunity to her, so he agreed helplessly. Martial uncle, when are you going back? Sima Yue asked. Tomorrow, Liang Wuming said. In a few months, there will be a competition in the valley. As the junior valley master, it's best that you can attend. I know. Sima Yue nodded. I talked to instructor Mao last night. I can graduate anytime now. But he said that I can leave my student status in the academy, and I can come out. That's good, Liang Wuming said. Then remember to come back before the competition. It's a good opportunity for everyone to see what their junior valley master looks like. Okay. On the second day, the Heavenly Sect and Divine Devil Valley left the city together. After going down the highlands, everyone left separately. After Sima Yue returned to the academy, she found an excuse to go out and send Third Mo out. Thank you so much this time. Third Mo thanked her. You don't have to be so courteous with me, Sima Yue said. I will help you look for those herbs. If I find them, I will contact you. If there's anything else you need my help with, you have to let me know. Sima Yue said. I will. Third Mo cupped his hands towards her and turned to leave. When Sima Yue returned to the academy, everyone knew that she got first place in the alchemy competition, and worshipped her even more. Sima Yue finally returned to Parting Garden. Han Miaoshuang and the rest were already waiting for her inside. But the two of them had a complicated expression on their faces. What happened? Sima Yue asked. Su Xiaoxiao passed the letter in front of him to Sima Yue. Sima Yue was shocked when she saw it. Jiang clan's people who went to Cloud Sea City were all killed? Eldest senior brother and the rest did it? Su Xiaoxiao said. It says that only Shi Qianji has the poison in Kongjun Chul. Now Jiang clan has already given the order to prepare to fight to the death with them. Sima Yue skimmed through the contents of the letter and frowned. Why do I feel that something is fishy? What's fishy? Han Miaoshuang asked. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.